Everyone, and welcome to NameHero.com. In this video tutorial, I'm going to talk about NameHero compared to SiteGround and talk a little bit about what we offer, what they offer, to better help some customers that are kind of on the fence, which hosting provider to go with. And I felt it was best to get a YouTube video out about this. And I'm going to start off by just kind of comparing the outward appearance of our packages versus their outward appearance of packages. And then we'll dive into the control panel and the sign up process. And then we'll talk about performance and all that stuff. So if you want to skip through to those parts, you can feel free to do so. I'll try to get the time links posted as well below this video. So if you don't want to see everything on the front end, you just want to jump to performance and stuff, then you can do that as well. But SiteGround, they're a web host out there. For those unfamiliar, let's go to them. SiteGround.com. You can see they're trusted by over 1.8 million domains. They have quite a few customers, but they're a hosting platform out there that I do have a lot of respect for. And I really haven't talked a lot about SiteGround on our blog, and we've been getting more and more pre-sales questions at NameHero, asking us for a comparison. How does NameHero compare to SiteGround? And so that's why I want to do this video. And even though I am the CEO of NameHero, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible and just kind of compare the features, what we offer and what they offer. And then I'll leave it to you to make the decision that you feel is best for your website. Here at NameHero, we don't want to bash our competition. We want to, give our customers a fair chance. If they feel that SiteGround is going to perform better for them, then, we want to give you that option. So the purpose of doing this videos is just to kind of compare the services to help you better make a decision for your website. So at first glance here's the current homepage of NameHero, and obviously as the time goes on, this will change up, and I'm sure the same is a SiteGround. It looks different than the last time I was there. But at first glance, you can see here, we promote heavily our freaky fast web hosting. NameHero, we are a true high-speed cloud web host. All of our web hosting, all of our reseller hosting, all of our VPS hosting, all of it is built on top of our high-speed cloud. So if you're signing up for hosting at NameHero, your website will be inside the cloud. And that's just how we've been doing it ever since our start. We don't own a traditional dedicated server here at NameHero. All of our hosting is in the cloud. So we go over to SiteGround here. We can see web hosting platforms. They're obviously doing this probably for some search engine stuff. Created for easy website management, and of course trusted by 1.8 million domains. So you can see they're pushing heavily on their platform being easy. They're showing the trust of 1.8 million domains, and then they've got their hosting packages or their featured packages. So they've got reliable web hosting, managed WordPress hosting, their high-performance WooCommerce hosting, and then their auto-scale cloud. And of course, that's all the offerings there. So now if we go to NameHero, and if we go down here, we can see a little paragraph of text, and we can see we're currently running our Fast Fall sale. And we focus on web hosting, reseller hosting, and VPS hosting. So if we go back to SiteGround, it looks like I don't see VPS here. They do have reseller hosting, enterprise hosting, and dedicated. Okay, so that's where they are, but they're not, it looks like they're not mainly focused on those. Their main focuses are on these 4 options here, but it does look like they do have those other options here. So we're going to mainly talk today about their web hosting versus our web hosting. So we're not going to get into our reseller and VPS, and same with SiteGround. We're not going to get into their reseller and dedicated and all that. We're going to primarily be speaking about just basic web hosting here. So now back to SiteGround here, they've got it looks like these are all web hosting options, but it's tailored more towards what you're going to be using it for. So reliable web hosting. If I click the Get Started, and I'm just going to open it in a new tab, I see, kind of what I see at NameHero or other web hosts. Web hosting crafted for superior experience, and they've got 3 main packages here. And it looks like, pretty similar to our prices here at NameHero. Their startup's $3.95 a month. It's regularly $11.95 a month. So I'm assuming they're running a special. I'm trying to see if they don't have what the special is, but you can see that it is a special price. It's telling us here. They have a Grow Big, so for $5.95 a month, regularly $19.95. Go Geek is $11.95 a month, regularly $34.95. So you can see they're offering way more than 50% off on their packages right now. They don't have the sale listed, but they do have discounted pricing. So let's just go compare to NameHero. So today, again, we're going to be talking about our web hosting. So at NameHero, we just have one column for that, one for reseller, and one for VPS. So I'm going to head over to our web hosting page. And so you can see now we have a direct comparison here, side by side, and we'll get back to SiteGround here in a second, to their homepage. So they have Startup, Grow Big, and Go Geek. we have 4 different packages here. So you can see we've got our promotions listed here. A free domain for your first year. Everything's on cloud hosting, and we do tout our free SSL certificates because those are extremely popular nowadays, because you need an SSL certificate, especially if you're hosting a WordPress website. You just need that for security. So we have freaky fast, affordable cloud web hosting, try risks free. And then we get into our packages. So you can see our promo right now is for fast fall. So it's the fall of the year right now, and we're having our sale to where all of our pricing is discounted. So similar to SiteGround, $359 for our starter. Normally $5.99. Our plus is $5.99, normally $9.99. Turbo's $10.17, normally $16.95, and the business is $11.99, $19.99. It's normal price. So kind of the same setup here. We have 4, they have 3. They've got special pricing. We have special pricing going on. I will say I'm not sure at SiteGround how their regular pricing works, but I'm going to assume the special price is like a promo rate. And then after the promo rate's over, maybe this is like your first year of hosting, maybe your first 2 years of hosting, then it goes back to the regular. That's how ours works here at NameHero. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, once we talk about these packages, I'll click through and see if we can't see that on the sign up as well. Okay, so the pricing here looks pretty similar. For a startup, for SiteGround's $395, for NameHero it's $359. So close. The regular price is a little bit higher at $11.95 versus $5.99. The plus, that would be, I guess, comparison to their Grow Big, $5.95 or $19.95, whereas ours is $5.99 and $9.99. Turbo. They kind of don't have a turbo, it doesn't look like, so we can say Go Geek is $11.95, comparison to Turbo's $10.17, or Business is $11.99. So we'll just say that they've got a starter. Our Plus and Turbo, this is kind of both of our middle ground packages. So you can see they highlight theirs with a bestseller. So this is kind of their way of saying, they have a star here and bestseller. So they're saying this is the package, they kind of want you on, or what most people choose. At NameHero, it's the same here, but these two in the middle are what most people choose. Now let's talk first thing about the suitable for. I like how SiteGround does this, and we do it too. Suitable for approximately 10,000 visitors monthly, 25,000 visitors monthly, 100,000 visits monthly. So we do this at NameHero too. And now this, by no means, we don't limit the number of visitors. And I don't believe SiteGround does either, from everything I've heard and what I see on here now. At NameHero, we do this to help you choose your package. We see that some of our customers coming over, they might not be that familiar with web hosting. So we just let them know that, hey, if you're getting 10,000 visits a month or so, then the starter is going to be a good fit. If you're getting more than that, you kind of use this as your key. Some of our customers, they don't understand what CPU cores and RAM and all that stuff is. So that just kind of lets them know that, hey, based on the amount of visitors I'm getting, that's what package I need to go with. And I think SiteGround's trying to do the same thing, to not have such big tech language, just kind of let the customer know how big their site is, determines which package they need. Now, some other providers out there, they won't list this. And then if you end up getting 25,000 visitors, they're saying, well, we've suspended you for excessive usage and you need to upgrade to a VPS. And so then you really have no idea, right? Some providers out there, they promote unlimited everything. And then when you start using it, then you find that you miss something in their fine print. So I like how SiteGround is transparent. And, here at NameHero, that's what we strive to do, as well as we want to be transparent, kind of let you know, what size package you need for your website. So, if you're going to buy hosting from us, how big your site is. If it's a new one, you could start here and then kind of go up as you grow. At NameHero, since you are in the cloud, you can upgrade to any of these packages anytime. So if you're a startup and you're working in the garage, getting your business off the ground, and you just know you need a website, the starter package is going to allow you to get online and get that site going. And then as your business grows, as you start getting orders and sales, then you can scale up here. Of course, as your business grows, the visitors will grow. So you can do that. And I think that's kind of the same idea here at SiteGround. They call this their startup package, crafted for a great web start. And so, same thing. If I'm assuming that I don't believe their packages are created on the cloud, because they do have a cloud option, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But I do believe that you could probably upgrade your site from a package, from the next package, if you need to. Okay, so now let's talk about these features. So the starter here at NameHero allows for 1, website. The plus allows for 6 websites, and this is the number of websites you can host with the package. So if you just have one website, one domain, and you want to host it, the starter will allow you to do that. The plus will allow you to host up to 6 websites. So let's say you have maybe your business website, and maybe your business website, you have a sister brand, or maybe you have a different domain for your blog. This would allow you to host all of them in the same package. If you're setting up your personal website, maybe you have a relative or a friend or for another website and you want to add that to the hosting. A lot of people, and at NameHero, they normally choose one of 2 here because they want to have the option to have at least more than one, allowed the ability to host more than one website. Because of course businesses change, businesses adapt, and so if they just have hosting for one, they kind of miss out on the price. And if I go over to SiteGround, it looks to be the same thing. Let's see. One website. Yeah, first option. One website for startup, multiple websites for the grow big. It doesn't tell us a limit, so we're going to assume that's unlimited, and multiple websites for the Go Geek. So again, we'll assume that's unlimited for these 2. And NameHero, it's 1 website, 6 websites, and then unlimited on the Turbo and Business. So a little different from SiteGround in that aspect, is if you want to host, you can host up to 6, but if you want to do unlimited, you would have to upgrade at NameHero versus SiteGround that you could just go with their Grow Big. All right, let's talk about web space. They have 10 gigabytes, 20 gigabytes, and 30 gigabytes. At NameHero, we have unlimited SSD storage. So let's talk about that. If you hover over the unlimited, you can see our inode, and this is the file limit. So, as I mentioned, some web hosts say unlimited everything. Then when you start using it, of course, it's not unlimited. So at NameHero, we made the decision about a year ago to go to unlimited storage. So this means that, if you can upload all the files, the file size is really irrelevant. What we limit on is based on the inodes or based on the files. So if you hover over this I, you can see 250,000 inodes or files. For the next one, 250,000 files, Turbo, 500,000 files, and then the business, 500,000 files. So we feel at NameHero, after operating for quite some time, that that's a better way to kind of put a limit on it, is say we're not going to limit you based on the amount of space you use, we're going to limit you based on the number of files you have. And so then this is how we maintain server performance. If you have tons of files, you might need a VPS, you might need a bigger hosting solution. So that's why we do that, is we don't limit the actual storage size, but we limit the number of files that you can have. At SiteGround, what I see here is they limit per web space, and I'm going to assume they have a file limit as well. And actually, I know they have a file limit as well. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Or actually, let's see if we can't get to that. So let's see where they would have that in. I think it's maybe in their details. So I'm trying to see here. They don't list it right on their front end page, but if you go to their cPanel demo, it's in there. Let's go to their cPanel demo and take a look. So if I go over here, I can see on here inode usage. So I can see 150,000. So if I hover over the I or the question mark, it's not telling me, but this is the same limit. It's inodes or files. So they do have this limit, and this is a startup. So this is their one package here. So they've got this limit. Now, the thing that I'm confused about, and I'd have to inquire of SiteGround, is do they have the same file limit on all their packages, or is it just the or what's the limit changed to, right? So we'll search through the site as we move along in this video and see if we can see that, though. This is one of those limits, though, that some hosting companies, they don't really advertise until you sign up, and then you don't realize you have it. So at NameHero, we try to put this right on here so you know what the file limit is, or how many files you can have. Again, I don't see this right out in plain view at SiteGround, and that's fine. But just be aware that if you're going to have more than at NameHero, it's 250,000 files. We can see now by going into the cPanel demo that for the startup, it's 150,000 files. Once you reach this number, you have to upgrade. So that's kind of an important one. Now, most WordPress websites, they don't use more than 10,000 of these. It's not many that WordPress uses. Now, of course, the larger your site is, the more images and media you have, the higher that number is going to go. If you use email for your account, let's say you're getting emails and stuff, then that's going to use inodes as well. if you have someone using email on your hosting account and they don't like to delete their spam or clean out their inbox, that could drastically increase your inode usage. Most of the time at NameHero, we rarely see people reach this 250,000 limit. Again, this does jump to 500,000 on Turbo and Business. But when we do, we most of the time see this limit is reached because of lots of emails, a lot of unread emails. So a lot of times they delete their junk email and then this is fine. But again, that's a common practice in shared hosting, is to see limits on files, or the number of files that you can have on your account. Again, are called inodes, but if you want to be non-techie, we can just call it files to be simple. So that's an important thing, and it's interesting to see they don't have it listed here. But again, we're just still getting through this stuff. So we'll dive in even deeper here in just a second. All right, so the next thing we talk about is bandwidth. They don't have it on here. They've got it on a comparison page, I believe. So let's finish talking about what they have. 10,000 visits a month, 25,000, 100,000. So at NameHero, we have 100 or 10,000, 25,000, 50, and 100. So you can see at NameHero, it looks like we have the Turbo. It's kind of the in-between, their middle one. So in between Grow Big and Go Geek, we have an extra one here. So that's the main difference, it looks like, off of first glance here at the difference of the packages. All right, so that's a comparison of the price, of the special, how many websites you can host, the space, and the visits. Now let's look at their essential features. So they've got quite a few in here. Free website builder, free SSL and HTTPS, free email accounts, free Cloudflare, free daily backup, 24/7 support, 30 days money back, unmetered traffic, so that's unmetered bandwidth, unlimited MySQL, and cPanel and SSH. So if we go over here to NameHero, we actually just list our features a little bit differently. And again, many hosting companies list different ways. So our main features here, hosting for one website, we talked about that. One free domain. So if you hover over here, the first year domain registration fee included with the hosting package renews at the regular price. So at NameHero, all of our packages have 1 year free domain. So if you're just getting started with your website and you don't have a domain yet, you get it for free with your package as long as you sign up with at least a year. Now the starter and the plus, you can only buy these packages starting at 1 year. They're not month-to-month packages. The Turbo and the Business, you can sign up month-to-month, but that would not include the free domain. Now it's something I don't see here at SiteGround. They assume that you will pay the domain registration fee, I believe, which is not much. I think it's at NameHero we charge $12.98. I think GoDaddy is like $14 a year depending on the options. So but it's just another way we incorporate savings into our prices. So when you see this price, keep that in mind at SiteGround, that you're also going to have to pay for that domain. And if you want to transfer your domain, it's likely you have to pay for that too. At NameHero, we will do a transfer as well for free. So you can register one free domain or transfer one domain. And how transfer works, let's say your domain is registered at GoDaddy. For example, let's just say my domain's ryangray.com, and which it's not, but if it was, and it's registered at GoDaddy, maybe I registered it 10 years ago, and I wanted to bring it to NameHero so my domain and hosting's at the same spot. Well, you could sign up with this package, and that transfer fee to GoDaddy will be free for the first year, and you don't lose any time you've already paid for at GoDaddy. So you've paid through next year at GoDaddy. Well, we can transfer that domain to us. You keep the time that you already paid for with GoDaddy, but then we extend it another year with that transfer fee. So you'll have your domain that was at GoDaddy at NameHero, and then we'll also extend it for a year there. And that's, again, free of charge as long as you're signing up for at least a year on our hosting. Again, many customers like that because really, if you look at that in pricing terms, $12.98, not a lot, but still that boils down to about a little bit more than $1 a month. So you can pretty much, let's say SiteGround doesn't offer the free domain, which again, once we dive in a little deeper, we might see an offer, but you can add another $1 a month to each package if it doesn't include a domain. So we could say this is $4.95, $6.95, $12.95 if it doesn't include that registration or transfer fee. All right, unmetered storage, we talked about that. Unmetered bandwidth, that said the same with theirs, with their essential. Now, if you'll notice, all essential features, all essential features, all essential features. So all their packages have these same features here. So we'll go through NameHeroes really quick. So unmetered bandwidth, same at SiteGround. CPU cores. Now this is something that I don't see SiteGround doing, is I don't see a number of CPU cores on here. If I go down through here, I can see that they've got HTTP2 enabled, they're GDPR compliant, but I'm not seeing anything. I see premium speed, unlimited sites backup. I don't see the cores. So one thing I want to do is if I hover over hosting, I can see they've got a WordPress hosting. Let's just check that really quick. And this is something that I thought was interesting too. They actually have a separate page that says WordPress hosting, manage WordPress hosting, but it looks to me like it's the same packages. So kind of the same here, same here. And once again, we're still looking for that CPU core. That's why I'm bringing this up. It's because I want to see what the speed is. So startup, grow big, go geek. So it looks to me, startup, grow big, go geek. It looks to me like these are the same packages, but these are tailored to WordPress. So I'm going to assume that, if I wanted to use WordPress in this, I don't know if I'm assuming I could. I'm assuming it's the same package. I'm assuming maybe it's just a marketing thing. They're marketing this page towards WordPress because you can see officially recommended by WordPress.org. So WordPress.org actually recommends SiteGround. So that's probably why they have this co-branded page here because I'm not seeing any difference. Essential Premium, Essential Premium Geeky. It looks like the same packages. This was just specifically branded for WordPress. The reason why I want to go to this page is I know they have this compare table, and I didn't see a compare table here. See, I don't see one. So I want to see if we could find the CPU cores, if they tell you that. So if I go down here, servers on 3 continents, SSD. No, super cacher, customized surf step. We built a unique platform for our shared hosting plans based on Linux containers. On top of them, we use customized CentOS and a mixture of Apache and Nginx web server technologies to ensure unmatched server performance. So they tell you a little bit about it, but I'm not seeing if they tell you how many cores. Server, there we go. Okay, so I'm not seeing the actual cores, but I can see how many processes. Okay, so now we've made some progress there. So we'll get into this here in just a second. Let's go back to NameHero. So with each package, since we are in the cloud, the CPU core, this is the processing power your website has. So the more cores it has access to, the faster it's going to be able to process your website. And this goes into RAM. This is actually the virtual memory that your package has access to. So if you're running WordPress, it uses memory, and the more visitors you have, the more memory it needs. The more plugins you use, the more memory it needs. Look at this like your computer. If you're on a laptop or desktop, look how much RAM's in your computer. The more RAM your computer has, the faster it runs. Of course, the more programs you have open, the slower it gets. The more RAM you have, the more programs you can have open. So kind of look at it like that. So in NameHero, we specify the cores and the RAM with each account or each package. So this way, you not only know, how many visitors you can serve, but about how much performance you can expect. So, if you're having a lot of plugins on your site, then you might need more RAM, might need more cores. So then this might be a little bit more for the technical audience out there. SiteGround, they try to keep it simple, but me personally, I like to know what the actual limits are. And so this is why we do this at NameHero. We tell you what you have access to. Now, if I go down here, I can see if I hover over these, they do tell me about simultaneous server processes, simultaneous connections from a single IP, the CPU seconds. So I do get some benchmarks here, but I don't see specifics. Oh, I do see one. Server memory per process. So 768 megabytes per processes, and it's telling me I can have 10 processes. Okay, so I can have, let's say 768, so let's just say roughly 6 gigabytes maybe. Maybe that's what they're saying, 5 gigabytes, 6 gigabytes. And it looks like that changes on here. So server process is 30, server process is 20. So the per process usage on that. So, okay, that tells us a little bit. And also you can see now this displays the inodes. So this is where they have all their stuff. So inodes is 150. Inodes here is 300. Inodes here is 450. And then the simultaneous server processes. So we'll talk about NameHeroes too as well because we don't have ours listed right out here. All right, so that's CPU and that's RAM that we list right out there. They kind of put theirs down here, but essentially they do have it. They show the per process used. We just show as a whole. The startup cloud has 1 gigabyte of virtual memory. If you use it, if you get close to the limit, then you need to upgrade to the Plus, Turbo, and Business, and that's kind of how it works in the cloud. The more resources you need, you scale up. That's why you're on the cloud, right? So you can scale up and get access to those. So let's go on down here. Free SSL, that's on all of our packages. And remember, that's in their essentials. So they've got that too. Free SSD, RAID 10. So we use solid state drives and they use solid state drives. Let's see where they list it. Was it in here? Not seeing it there. If If I go up to here, that's why I like these compare tables too, because they list it. Web space. So web space represents the amount of web storage allocated for each account. Our shared hosting plans use SSD storage. Okay, so they do use SSD drives. So SSD is solid state. It basically means it's just faster. Your website runs faster because it's a lot faster read-write than a traditional SATA or a hard drive with moving pieces. In 2018, 2019, 2020, solid state drives are what most everyone uses. There are still some web hosts out there that do not. I know I've reviewed a couple here on our YouTube channel and on our blog that do not use SSD drives. So that's actually big. If you're coming from a host that doesn't use SSD, feel free to ask them because you'll notice a big difference once you move over. I know me personally, when I started using SSD on my websites, I noticed a big difference in the performance of the sites when you would visit them or just use them in general. Now, RAID 10, this is a technology that we use at NameHero that actually mirrors that solid state drive. So on the node, you'll see one solid state drive. Well, there's another solid state drive behind it that mirrors it in real time. It mirrors that data. So in case one of the drives would fail, the other drive has all the data. So, in the middle of the day, which solid state drives are really not known for failing, but if one of them would fail, we have that RAID 10 that kind of acts as a buffer to retain that data. So it's kind of a safety net. I don't see RAID at SiteGround. Not to say they don't use it, but I just don't see it. So if they do, they don't say it. But I'm assume if they did, they would probably highlight it on here. And again, I just don't see it. So if someone knows different, feel free to let me know. RAID setups are a little bit expensive because you have to have, two of those drives and it all set up. So some web hosts, they don't offer it. Again, I don't see it on here, but not to say that they don't, and I just don't know. So that is a feature we offer here at NameHero, though, and one that I've used for many years, just because in case of the rare event one of the solid state drives would fail, there is some redundancy in the data. We offer free Lightspeed cache. So this is a plugin that works with Lightspeed web server. As we see over here at SiteGround, they use Nginx and Apache. So if I go back to server, well, it's not there. Where was it? We clicked over here and we clicked somewhere and it said they use a combination of Apache and a combination of Nginx. It's not there. Well, I'm sure we'll run across it again. It's not listed in here either. Okay, but yeah, they did it. It was listed on here that they use Apache and Nginx. We use the Lightspeed web server, so they're all similar. Okay, Apache is what most web hosts out there use. Now, Lightspeed has proven itself in their own benchmarks to be up to 10 times faster than Apache, and I concur with that. I've seen that. I've split tested it myself. Lightspeed is faster than Apache. Now, SiteGround, they also use Nginx, so Nginx is very comparable to Lightspeed. Nginx is an open source web server, and it's a lot faster than Apache, up to 10 times, but it's very comparable to Lightspeed. So Lightspeed has a little bit different of a license. It's not free, so we have to actually license our nodes for the Lightspeed. And it does come with their Lightspeed cache, which there's been some tests now in the WordPress atmosphere out there, if you want to call it that, that has shown that Lightspeed cache is one of the fastest WordPress caching plugins out there. If you search our blog or our YouTube channel, you can find the article I have where I talk about that and show the comparison graphs and all that. So that Lightspeed Cache allows you to install the plugin on your WordPress, and it basically loads your site faster. It looks like SiteGround here, they've got their own caching. I don't see it in here. It looks like it's a premium feature. You can see Super Cacher for great speed. So they actually have their own using Nginx. So we've got Lightspeed, they've got Nginx. We've got Lightspeed Cache, they have Super Cacher. So again, it's kind of difference between Pepsi and Coke. Some people really prefer Coke, some people really prefer Pepsi. Kind of the same type deal there, though. So it's very similar in comparison. With ours, though, we offer the Lightspeed caching and Lightspeed server with all packages, whereas you have to have their grow big to have access to it. So their startup, they don't have it. Okay, so free Cloudflare with Railgun. If I go over here too, you can see they have the free CDN, free Cloudflare CDN. So same thing. They also offer Cloudflare with all their accounts. So I'm seeing it's in their essentials. So that's the same. Unlimited park domains. So you can park as many domains as you want to on these packages. I'm going to assume that's the same here. If I go to their cpanel here, park domains, unlimited, yes. Okay, so the same here, unlimited subdomains on all accounts, and we'll go to their control panel here just to confirm that. Subdomains unlimited as well. Whoops, I keep going up here. Unlimited email accounts, and we saw that there. So it looks like SiteGround has all that too. So all these last three features, SiteGround's got that as well, and they're essentials. Now, if I hover over here, free website builder, I'm not sure which one that they're talking about. Maybe we can dive in deeper when we jump down here that they offer, but they do offer one. The free SSL, we talked about that. Free email accounts, we talked about that. Cloudflare, talked about that. Daily backups. So they do offer daily backups. And if you hover over superhero features, you can see Lightspeed web server, solid state drive RAID 10. We use Maria database, which is different. That's a drop-in replacement for MySQL. Basically, the people that originally created MySQL was sold to Oracle, and Maria database was created by that core group of MySQL people. And we've just found better performance and kind of more reliability, security type deal, really performance with Maria. So that's what we use. I think that they are using MySQL and also have the ability for Postgres. Yes, we offer unlimited number of MySQL and Postgres databases. They got PHP MyAdmin and PHP PG Admin. We do not offer Postgres at this time at NameHero. We just offer the Maria database, or you could call it MySQL because it performs the same as MySQL. So that's a difference there. I know we've had some requests at NameHero to offer Postgres, but we am I saying that right? Postgres? Anyways, we do not offer it right now. We offer Maria. They do at SiteGround. So that is a difference in our databases. Daily backups, we offer them on all the packages. It looks like they do as well. Free backup, 24/7 support. We've got that too at NameHero. I think it's 24/7, 365. 99.99% uptime on all of our packages, and I believe they do the same. If I go back to their home page, I think they showed it. Well, I did see it somewhere on here. Let's see, was it on this page? Yes. So they actually publish it. Last 12 months, 99.6, 99.9 last month. Okay, so it's kind of the same, right? 99.9. To prove it here at NameHero, if you go to our review page, hang on. If I click read reviews, I can review our uptime reports. So if you don't want to take our word for it, download our uptime reports. And I'm about to update this soon for 2018. There'll be a bunch more on there then. But these are just some of our nodes that we pulled uptime reports from. We put so many people, people kind of get the idea after looking at 3 or 4 of these. But hey, I want to back up the 99.9% uptime. So feel free to download those and to make your own comparison. We will talk about some independent studies though about uptime here later in the tutorial. Okay, so that's the uptime. Whoops, keep clicking off. So now what else we have? Okay, so I think we've covered all that. 24/7 support. One thing I found curious. Okay, there it is. If I go to SiteGround's main page, let me just go back on this browser here. They go back here. Okay, they have a sales chat and then their phone number here. NameHero, we have our phone number here and we have our chat here. Okay, so they've got chat, we've got chat, they've got phone, we've got a phone. That's good to know, right? If you start a sales chat, okay, it wants to know if you're new or existing. So they just kind of want to authenticate if you are a customer. That's smart. Okay, so kind of same stuff. Same thing here at NameHero, 24/7 support, phone, chat, tickets, same at SiteGround. All right, so kind of at NameHero, we have these same features across. So the main differentiating, the main factor is different against all these packages is the number of visitors it's suitable for, and this is based on the RAM and CPU. The inodes, 250, 250, 500, 500, and the number of websites you can host, 1, 6, unlimited, and unlimited. So the main different factor is, how big is the site? And so that's why we kind of put how many visitors, because the bigger package you need. And I get the same impression here at SiteGround. The main different factors on these is the number of websites you can host, the web space, and so it's a visitors you can host, how big the site is. So kind of the same thing here. So if we're going to NameHero, if we're going to SiteGround, we're looking for hosting, we first determine, how big is the website? Is it new or is it existing? And then we can choose our package based on that. So that looks like to be the main factor. Now at SiteGround, they've got these other features. So if you go with the Grow Big, they have premium features. So the premium features, let's look at them. Free site transfer, priority technical support, super cacher, and free backup resources. So backup resources. Do they not offer backups with this one? Maybe I got it. Oh, free daily backup and backup resource. Not sure what that is. Maybe they'll explain. But free site transfer. So this means if you have a website at another host, Bluehost, HostGator, GoDaddy, and you want to move it to SiteGround, this means they'll move it for you. Now, I guess if you have the startup, you would have to move it yourself. At NameHero, if you go down here, free migrations. So if your current web host is using cPanel, we will migrate that over for you free of charge within the first 30 days of your account. So you sign up at NameHero, you say, hey, I'm moving over from Bluehost. Can you migrate it? Yes, we can, as long as we can get a backup of your current cPanel. Bluehost, for some reason, they're a little challenging to get that from. They've taken the option out of cPanel, so we actually have to have you request that from their support team. Sometimes that can be like pulling teeth, but other times they let you have it. But that's all we need, and then we can migrate your site. So this is for all of our packages. As long as your current web host uses cPanel, we can move it over for free. SiteGround, I don't see the site transfer option for their startup. I see the Grow Big, they offer that in the premium features. So that's maybe, a selling point that you're looking at if you're moving over your existing website. So that's just kind of an option out there. Super cacher. So remember, it said Coke, Pepsi, Lightspeed Super Cacher. So at NameHero, we have this Lightspeed cache. You're able to use that plugin on any of these packages. With SiteGround, you have to have the Grow Big to use their Super Cacher. Free backup resources. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Premium backup. Oh, this allows you to have 30 days of backup in the system. Okay. This one just has daily backups. Okay, that's important. At NameHero, all of our accounts have backups, but we only retain 1 day's worth of data on all of them. So we make that the option. You have backups for 1 day. Now you can add up to 30 days backups, but this is an upsell. So when you go to sign up, and I'm going to do a sample sign up so you can see it as well, then you have that option to go with 30 days of backups. So at SiteGround, it looks like that they give that to you starting in Grow Big and then Go Geek, whereas NameHero, you would have to order that additionally. So again, it's just another option out there, right? It's kind of trade-off. We give you the free domain, then if you want more than 1 day's backup, you can sign up for 30 for just a little small price. And again, it's not that expensive at all. So we'll talk about that. But it's SiteGround. You can go to the startup. You have that daily backup. Grow Big, Go Geek. I'm assuming the Go Geek is the premium backup too. Free backup resources. And I'm going to assume how many backups, instant backups whenever. I'm going to say that's probably 30 days. Peace of Mind, 30 backup. I'm going to say that GoGeek's probably just got those too as well, so it's 30 days. So that's how backups looks like, the backup comparison. All right, what else do we have? So that kind of explains the backup resources. Okay, so now Essential, Premium, and the Geeky Advance. So they've got fewer accounts on server. Okay, so that's interesting. So this says that the server your account's going to be placed on is going to have less accounts than it would be if you have the startup. So it says, well, if you're buying the startup, then you're going to be on a server with a lot more clients, or Grow Big, you're going to be on a server with a lot more clients. The thing about this is, they can say that. Now, is it true or is it not? I don't know. And I would assume the best. I'm going to say, okay, then they probably have their own, servers for GoGeek, and they're not overloading those. But that's what they claim there in the geeky feature. So anyways, for what it's worth, that's what they say there. I guess time would only tell whether that's true or not. PCI compliant servers. This is interesting. At NameHero, we offer PCI compliant servers, but this is only with our VPS servers. We find that with the regulations for PCI that it makes more sense to go with the VPS. Now they obviously offer it on their GoGeek, so that might be something to consider. A lot of websites nowadays will use Stripe, PayPal. They'll use software out there to where they don't need PCI compliance, where card data is not stored. When you're storing card data, there is a huge amount of liability that you have. And so that's why personally we don't offer it on a shared hosting plan, because I feel like that it's just with more than one, a shared hosting plan means. You're on a server with more than one customer. So even though you have different packages, it's still essentially on the same server. So for my peace of mind, we just do it with VPSs. That means it's your server, your compliance, and everything like that. Now they do offer it on their Go Geek here. So that's important to note. Maybe you do need it. Most people are using Stripe and PayPal nowadays, and it's not needed because they're not actually storing card data. If you can get around storing card data, I would, because, having the liability of that nowadays is pretty heavy. But anyways, some people want PCI compliance or need it for that reason. So interesting to know. WordPress and Joomla staging. So this basically means that if you want to create a dev site, you can do that in this package. So you can kind of copy your site. So WordPress and Joomla. So let's say you're using WordPress and you want to create a copy of your site to work on it. You can do that with your Go Geek. Now at NameHero, we actually offer this on all of our packages. I've got a blog on it. So if I go over here and go to our blog, it was recently on here. Let's go over here to the blog and let me show you. One click. So if you don't know what staging is, head over to our blog and you can search one-click staging like that. NameHero.com/startup or NameHero.com/blog, either one will get you there. And I just got off of it right here. And so you'll see I've got a blog post on what staging is and how to do it. So again, it allows you the ability to copy your site and to work on your site, maybe change the design, edit it so the visitors don't see it. And then when you're finished, you can push that out to the live site. So you're not working on your live site. Say you're changing themes, adding plugins, and you don't want your visitors to see any of that. You would do that in a staging environment. So at NameHero, all of our hosting packages have this one-click staging. And you can read this blog post to learn how. It's super simple, but I wanted to make sure we went into detail on how it worked, how to push your site live, and all that. So you can see that. And I also have a video on YouTube you can check out as well. So they've got it in their Go Geek. I do not see that in their other ones. So, if you want to stage an environment, you need their Go Geek. One-click get repo creation. We currently do not offer this at NameHero. So that's a pretty nice feature there. You can make a repository of your website. And that way you can move it around as well. A Git repo allows you to set up a staging area quickly too, using that repository. So that's integrated with them. Something we do not have here at NameHero. Might be something worth looking into though. I know we've had a couple requests. If we get more, we might do that as well. Free backups on demand. So it looks like that's instead of 30 days, I guess on demand, you can get a backup whenever. You just click backup. I'm assuming that's what that means. And if I go down here, I think they give us more details. Extra peace of mind to create instant backups whenever you need them. Okay. All right. So you can do backups whenever. And at NameHero, that's the same as far as backups go. Again, each night we back up your data. Once a night, retain 1 day's worth of data. If you want to back up your website at any time, you can do that as long as you're not exceeding 100,000 inodes or 20 gigabytes in total usage, because that would slow the server down. So we don't want to do that. So again, you're free to create your backup anytime you would like, as long as you're within that threshold. So that's something interesting that they do, that you can do it anytime with the Go Geek. NameHero, you just have to make sure that you meet those requirements. All right, so that looks like we've covered all the basic features. Now let's go to plan details. All right, so we've talked about all this stuff here. Now, where else? cPanel SSH. So let's talk about that. cPanel and SSH access. So at NameHero, we use cPanel. They use cPanel. I'm actually going to dive into theirs. I'll wait till I sign up here and show you the difference, because we have some different features in cPanel. So where was theirs? Right here. This is their live cPanel demo, and I'm going to bring up a NameHero cPanel demo so I can just go through it in detail. So again, if you're this video, the purpose of this video is a direct comparison at SiteGround. So I'm going to go through extreme detail. So kind of stay put if you want to see that, and I'm going to go through it. But cPanel is the control panel that controls your site, that allows you to do stuff. Look at this like your operating system on your computer. If you want to get on and go to the internet, then you have Windows on your computer. You have Mac OS on your computer. So it's a point and click editor, so you don't have to do anything technical. They use cPanel, we use cPanel. So the most popular control panel out there, most of the big name web hosts, that's what they use. We talked about storage. email accounts in Cloudflare, CMS install. We talked about the free CMS install. Okay, this is one-click WordPress installation. That's standard in cPanel. Same here at SiteGround, same at NameHero. The backups, HTTP2 enabled servers. So this is good to know. HTTP2 is a new protocol used for HTTP. It came out quite a while ago, but most all web hosts offer this now. Well, I guess not all. Some of the larger brands don't offer this currently. Basically, it makes your site load faster. This is standard on Lightspeed Web Server. I believe it's standard on Nginx too. So we have this at NameHero. They have this at SiteGround. Makes your site load faster, performs better. GDPR compliant. That's our friends in the European Union passed a nice compliance law last year. Our servers are also GDPR compliant. Our data centers are as well. All right, so let's make sure we're hitting all the features here. Host unlimited websites. Okay, so their grow big is unlimited. You can host unlimited sites. We talked about that. Premium speed. So we talked about the kind of speed aspects, premium backup and free website migration. GoGeek, more power per user. So they give you more resources. So see, one thing they don't do is they don't tell you that up front here. You have to go dig for it. And so that's fine. You have to dig for it. But at NameHero, we just want to put all that out there. Here's the power you're getting right in front of you. You want it or you don't. Because I don't want people to have to dig, because I've worked online this coming next month, December 2018, will make 20 years I've worked online. And so I've bought a lot of hosting over my time. And what I don't like is buying hosting and not knowing how many resources I have. That's why we stick it right out here in front of your face. You have to kind of dig on SiteGround, but again, they do promote their speed, and I've heard great things about the speed at SiteGround. So we're gonna, definitely give them the benefit of the doubt, but they just don't have it. They don't have it right out in front and center. Oh, and they do have a comparison page. Okay, so let's go dig into their comparison a little bit more and make sure we hit it all. That was interesting. They show the comparison if I slide down. Ah, nice. So here at NameHero 2, we can compare these down here. Everyone has the comparison table at the bottom. Okie doke. So again, we covered the storage. We covered the inodes, the websites allowed, the CPU cores, and the RAM. We allow one included domain, the SSL, the Lightspeed cache, bandwidth, parked, subdomains, email accounts, all unlimited. Dedicated IP address, it's not included with these packages. You can buy one additionally, which we'll talk about when we sign up. cPanel, it comes with everything. SSH access, yes. Cloudflare with Railgun, yes. FTP accounts unlimited, database unlimited, multiple PHP versions. Yes, we allow from 5.4, maybe even 4.6, all the way up to 7.3-ish, 7.2 or 3-ish now. So you can have multiple versions of PHP. That's important. I'm sure we're going to hit that on SiteGround. We have Perl, webmail, and nightly backups. Again, you can see up to 100K inodes. So let's go look at their comparison now. And, it's funny, I had to dig on that to that page. You'd think they would list it right under the package. Anyways, we found it. Okay, so let's go here. Suitable visitors, number of suitable visitors, kind of same thing. Web space, websites hosted, the data transfer, the bandwidth, no limits there. Free drag and drop editor, so kind of similar stuff here. CMS install, so install WordPress, Joomla, Drupal. Email accounts unlimited, SQL unlimited, park domains unlimited, cPanel and Softaculous. Same here at NameHero. 30 days money back. We allow that too. Servers on 3 continents. So they have, the ability to choose from USA, Europe, Asia Pacific. Each location only top-of-the-line hardware, extensively tested configuration. That's definitely a benefit. At NameHero, our servers are all in the United States at this time. We did have some European servers at one time. We didn't really see a huge demand for the European market at actually NameHero.com. We are looking to add Europe this in 2019, so coming up here. But right now we're just in the U.S., so that's definitely a benefit that SiteGround has over NameHero. So if you're in Asia Pacific or Europe and looking for a package close, there you go. That's definitely an option. SSD storage, yes, and you can see they've got some more details. Kind of what I discussed, to provide for a 1,000 times increase in input-output over regular drives. So yes, if your web host is not using SSD, come to NameHero, come to SiteGround. You need to be using a web host with SSD. If they're not using solid-state drives, please get away from it because that's old. I don't know if you can see on this video right now. You know you're filming, you're a nerd when you've got this in your office. This is a solid state drive. I hope you can see over this microphone. This is a solid state drive. Actually, I think I just broke the paper on it, but look at it. Very small, no moving parts in it. It's like a flash drive, but just bigger. It's like a flash drive you'd put in your computer. It's bigger. This is a SATA hard drive. This is an old school hard drive. Look how big. You see, look in here, there's all these moving pieces in here. These fail. They're slow. These don't fail. I don't want to say don't. They can, but they rarely fail. These fail routinely. These are fast. These are slow. I know, I'll just say it. HostGator still uses these in some of their packages. So if your site's slow loading, think it's using this when it could be using this. I think this is, does it say on it? I don't know. I think this might be like 250 gigabytes. I think this is like 20 gigabytes. Look at the size difference. Solid state drive. You want to be using it. Old school SATA. Don't use. So anyway, it's kind of funny. I had those just sitting over in the corner of my eye. All right. Customized server setup. We built our platform customized for Linux containers. Okay. Here's what it tells us. Okay. CentOS. That's what we use at NameHero. Apache and Nginx. So at NameHero, we use Lightspeed web server. They use a combination of Apache and Nginx. Okay, so that's good to know. Nginx, again, is a comparison to Lightspeed. It's fast. It's open source. Lightspeed is not. It's a premium server. But really, I've used all three. I've used Apache. I've used Nginx. I've used Lightspeed. Nginx and Lightspeed are very comparable. Apache is not as fast. So the mixture, I wonder what they're mixing. I wonder what they're mixing exactly. I have some ideas, but I don't know, so I don't want to speak out of turn here. But yes, so it's kind of a little different there. Free CDN, that's Cloudflare. HTTP2, what do they say about it? It's the newest version of HTTP protocol, load websites much faster. Support on all our servers. That means that people that use a ready browser can see your site faster. Yes, same at NameHero. Super Cacher, so we can see, it is. They do have it on startup, but just the level 1. So I guess the different level. Level 1 static content cache. Level 2 is dynamic cache, powered by Nginx. And level 3, database queries result cache running on memcached. Okay, so just a little bit different of the caching they have available there. So they use memcached here. So database caching. So we got static caching, dynamic and static and database, and so that's the 3 levels. So we have, once again, they have static caching, dynamic and static, and then they have database. All right, I think we got it all. Different levels of caching. At NameHero, we just have Lightspeed cache. You can run memcache as well. Power redundancy. Okay, so pretty much they have a backup generator. I think it's all web hosts out there. If the power source fails in a data center, there's another one that picks up. Hardware redundancy. They put a lot of stuff on here. But if one piece of hardware fails, they're going to have a backup. LXC stability. So this is virtual. So all their Linux containers, LXC, have been developed for resource efficient. Okay, so these containers allow them to scale up in the event of a high load. So what they're saying here is if their server undergoes a high load, it can automatically scale up. Same thing here at NameHero. We are in the cloud, so rather than, I guess we're kind of using these kernel containers, kind of, not really. If we want to add resources at NameHero, we're in the cloud. We add them on demand. So they're saying here that they're using these LXCs to do that, to handle that. Okay, so good to know. Unique account isolation. Oh, okay. So this says that if each account's isolated from the other, to keep hacking under control. So at NameHero, we use CageFS, which essentially puts each account in its own cage. So if someone's account becomes compromised, the whole server doesn't come compromised. So the same thing. NameHero, SiteGround, we both do this. We both cage each account. Fastest server monitoring. We have 24/7, 365 server monitoring as well. Anti-hack systems. Each year we have new rules in our web application firewall. All right, so they're checking out for malware and stuff. We also do the same thing at NameHero. We have a web application firewall. We also scan the servers every night for malware. So if we detect it, we do remove it. But we also try to prevent it. So this preventative maintenance. So we also have a very detailed and extensive web application firewall in front of your site. So we actually try to block, possible hacks into your site. We have a brute force detection system. So it's pretty much just proactive security. So they're doing stuff. We're doing stuff to protect you. Proactive update and patches. Again, the same here. Your server and stuff gets patched. Spam experts. They have spam experts to protect your spam. We use Spam Assassin, which is inside of cPanel. They use spam experts at no cost. So spam email filtering is on both. The free auto daily backups. Okay. So I was wrong. I thought on their startup it was 1 day copy. Now all their backups have 30 copies. So that's the difference between them and NameHero is we have 1 copy, they have 30 on their backups. You can upgrade your account to 30, but it's just an addition to it's a small monthly fee additional to get 30 copies. And we'll talk about that when we get to the sign up. So essentially we do offer it, but it's not included in the package. Free backup restore. Oh, okay. So if you would want to restore a backup, they don't do it for free for the starter, but the Go Geek and the Go Geek and the Grow Big, they will. So this means if you need them to restore a backup, where'd it go? They won't do it for free. Where do we get? Okay. So interesting to know. At NameHero, you can access all of our backups in cPanel, so you can restore these. And I can show you on the blog. We go to restore backup. Let's see. I might have just for WordPress. Here, and so you can search this article on our blog, and it shows you how. But right inside of each cPanel, you'll have this backup administration, and you can restore your backups. You can manage your backups completely in cPanel and restore it anytime, free. With theirs, it looks like we'd have to ask. Or where'd we go here? Free backups, free backup restore. The resources are paid on the startup plan and free. Okay, so you have to pay for the resources. On-demand backups. We talked about that already. Okay, let's get down to support. We're almost through this. 24/7 support, same at NameHero. Phone, chat, and tickets, yes. Free site transfer, no on their small package, yes on these. Issues are solved with priority. No, yes, yes. We're committed to providing all of our customers a great support and a quick turnaround. However, we realize that some customers need things to move faster than others. To guarantee a fast response to the highest level around-the-clock technical assistance, we'll offer free premium support. Okay, so they have different support levels. Their basic package has this level of support, and the other two have this level. So I'm going to assume that they answer tickets faster. They couldn't do that on phone. I mean, if you call in on the phone, what are they going to say? No, I'll put you on hold. I don't know. I don't think you could do that on the phone. So I'm going to assume this means they'll answer the ticket faster. Maybe they'll answer your live chat faster. I'm not sure. So at NameHero, I've thought about this before. I thought about different levels of support because, someone comes in for a starter cloud, $359 a month, and then you have someone at the business paying $11.99 a month. How do you monitor the support on that? Well, I went back and forth. Do we do this premium support or not? And I decided that the web hosting industry that I saw, in my eyes, the support was just so bad overall. And again, I've heard some great things about SiteGround support, but if you're coming from other hosting companies, Bluehost, HostGator, I haven't heard good things about their support in recent years. So when we started NameHero, that's one of the things that we wanted to do is 10 for 10 customer service and support to everyone, regardless if you're on the starter or on the business, regardless if you're on the starter or you're on a VPS. We try to offer the best support to every single person, no bias. Our tickets are replied to in 15 minutes. Our live chats are answered within a minute, and our phones are answered normally very quickly. If there's any type of wait, it's no longer than 5 minutes at max on the phone. Most of the time you get right through. We don't have any of that press 1, press 2 stuff. When you call, you're connected right to an agent. So that's how we try to do things here at NameHero. It's superhero support, and you can see down here, we have it right here. Superhero support 24/7 right here. Call us, live chat, or email us. So that's something we're trying to do here at NameHero. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can click here, go to our reviews, and we publish the support feedback. So under NameHero support reviews, you can click on these and read the feedback from our desk. Each ticket that closes asks the customer to rate the tech and fill out some comments if they like. So you can see the date, time, a scale of 1 to 10. If they put 0, they didn't rate it, and then any comments they left. So we do that to show our support. SiteGround here looks like they've got different levels of support. So again, if you're coming in at the startup, your issue is not solved with priority. It'd be interesting to see what the turnaround on that is. Does that mean 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? I don't know. They don't tell us. So it'd be interesting to compare that. All right, so free shopping cart install, free shopping cart. So Magento, PrestaShop, OS Commerce. We have all that stuff too if you want to add it. Let's Encrypt. That's who we use. So same SSL, basically free and automatic SSL. Most web hosts are doing this nowadays because they have to. You have to have a secure certificate in 2018. I think GoDaddy is still selling them at last check. I don't know if that's changed now, but last time I checked, GoDaddy was still selling them. So if you have a hosting account at GoDaddy, you have to pay for SSL. Free at NameHero, free at SiteGround. It's getting free everywhere. PCI compliance, we already highlighted that. It's just their big package. At NameHero, if you want PCI compliance, you have to go to a VPS. Oh, and I did mention we have the shopping cart install as well. Magento, OS Commerce, PrestaShop, and others. So we do have shopping carts as well. Multiple PHP, we cover this at NameHero. We have these as well. 5.6, 7.0, 7.1, 7.2. I think we've got 7.3 too. I know there's 7.3 on some servers. That's the newest that's coming out. And I do think some servers you can go as far back as 4.6. It's an old version, but all of our PHP versions are alt PHP versions, so we actually apply the updates to them. So they're secured PHP versions. So as many people are probably aware, PHP 5.6 reaches its end of life support. I think December 10th, maybe of 2018. So we're still going to offer PHP 5.6. So even though it's reached the end of life in the PHP ecosystem, we are still going to be offering support and security for it. And you can see they're still doing the same thing at SiteGround. So multiple PHP versions, same at NameHero. Perl and Python supported. We support both Perl and Python as well. Free SSH and SFTP. We offer both of those as well. Remember in our table here. Let's go back over here. We offer that down here. So same thing. The jailed SSH access allows you to connect SFTP as well. FTP accounts, yes, you can FTP. I prefer to see you use SFTP, but if you still want to use FTP, you can. Many more technologies supported. So many more PHP libraries, PHP encoders, GD library, ImageMagick, curl, zlib, Zend, Optimizer, IonCube, Source Guardian, Mod Rewrite, HTAccess, Smarty templates, PHP Any. We support all that as well. So it's basically just kind of the standard PHP and other technologies that you need for your hosting experience, especially for WordPress, MySQL-based scripts. So yeah, that's pretty standard for all web hosts to support that stuff. Pre-installed Git. Git is pre-installed on our GoGeek servers, so you can use it to create repositories. Okay, that is not at NameHero. We talked about that already, but it is on their Geeky plan. Staging, they have it on their GoGeek. At NameHero, we do have the staging on all packages. So a couple differences there. And again, it just goes back to preference. So the resources, this is where they list those for you. So server, databases, and email. Okay, so let's talk about these limits, and then I promise we'll get on with this. The server limits. So these are the limits to CPU, memory, and storage. So if I hover over this, I can see simultaneous server processes 10, simultaneous connections from a single IP 10, CPU seconds, program and script executions. So 1,000 per hour, 10,000 by day, and 300,000 by month. Okay. Average process execution time per day, 2 seconds. Shared service CPU usage, no more than 20% for a period of 10 seconds. So you can't use any more of the CPU than 20% for 10 seconds. Server memory per process, you can use 768 megabytes. Inodes is 150, and the cron interval is 30 minutes. Okay, it's kind of a lot. Let's go look at our limits here at NameHero, and I've got these listed on, I don't know why we just went over into here. Where'd my other one? There we go. Let's just bring these back up here. These are listed on the sales page too. But let's pull up this article here. It's easy to see. I do have this on here somewhere though. If we go down here, here we go. We can get some of these comparisons. So number of processes. they said they've got 10 processes and 10 simultaneous connections. So ours is concurrent connections 25 and 100 processes. This is for all of our accounts. Remember, we limit based on this is disk space, RAM, physical, virtual, and physical memory. Okay, hold on, let's go back. These are my reseller limits. Let's get to the actual limits so I can show this. Here we are. Web hosting account limits. So you can see on our shared packages here, the CPUs, this is a brand of CPU. The number of CPUs you can use is allocated from the master plan, disk space allocated from master, bandwidth allocated from master, virtual allocated from master, physical. Okay, so all of this is allocated from the top of here, right? So you can see your actual resources. For all of them, the concurrent connections is 25 and 100 processes. And remember, a concurrent connection means simultaneously from the same IP. So the same IP address. That doesn't mean like 25 people can be at your website at once. It means from the same IP address. At SiteGround, so the single IP is 10, 20, no, same IP, 15, 10, 15, and 20. So 10, 15, and 20, and we just do a straight across 25. So 25 from all. So just a little difference there in the same concurrent connections. Number of processes 100. Processes 10. Processes 20. Processes 30. So these are simultaneous, and these are simultaneous too. So 100. So we allow you to do more processes. And again, this is based on the RAM and the CPU resources that you have. So it looks like at theirs they put more of a limit on those. Versus giving you the RAM and letting you allocate it as you can. So again, we're getting into a little bit of techie stuff here. So I won't go too deeper in that. So again, most of this is allocated from the plan and why we list it up here. What's different is the process, the concurrent connections and processes, whereas theirs is here. So we allow for more processes and we allow more concurrent connections than theirs. Okay, so good to know. And a lot of this, a lot of times you don't know until you get it going, right? So that's why I like, and what we do to at NameHero is we tell you how many suitable visitors, because that's what goes down to all that. How much visitors are you getting? What plugins are you using? How's your site coded? I mean, it goes into a number of different things to determine this type of stuff. This is the I/O limit, the limits of read-write. I don't know if they have that on theirs or not. I don't see it. I don't see the I/O limit. But they do have they show their memory per processes. They allow for 10 processes, whereas our processes are 100. So that's kind of how they're limiting is per process. They limit you to 10 processes, and they have to be smaller processes. Inodes are 150, inodes are 300, inodes are 450. At NameHero, it's 250, 250, and then 500, 500. Minimum cron interval, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay, we do not have a cron limit. You can go at 5-minute intervals if you'd like, based on your usage. So that's cron job. You can go 5 minutes if you want to. Really don't recommend it. 30 minutes or an hour is what I would personally recommend on your package, but just different. And same with inodes, allocated for master plan. So that's kind of the geeky details behind each package. So now I think we have a good understanding of what SiteGround offers in comparison to what we offer at NameHero. As I can see, very comparable. I don't believe they're built in the cloud. They use those containers so they can scale up. What I noticed here, because it was confusing to me, why they have under three, web hosting, WordPress, WooCommerce. I think these are all the same. We're just going to confirm it really quick. Yes. Okay, so this just has WooCommerce installed in the storefront. So it's just kind of branded towards WooCommerce. Same package. Okay, so we're going to go into the assumption here. We've covered this, this, and this. Let's look at their cloud. See plans. Okay, so with their cloud, so this is similar to our VPSs. So their cloud hosting, this does show your CPU cores and your memory. But I'm going to assume this is like a dedicated auto scale resources. We have that. So I'm going to assume this is their version of our VPS. I think that's what they're saying here. So if you go to our VPSs here, 2 CPU, 2 CPU, the RAM and all that. That's what this is. So this looks like how they're calling their VPS, just cloud. Ours is cloud VPS, but all of our packages are on the cloud. So yeah, that's what their cloud hosting is. And then they have reseller hosting. I think their reseller hosting is different than ours. It's not what I think it's you're white labeling theirs. Yes. I think that's how it works. Again, the purpose of this is not reseller, so we won't get too much. Enterprise hosting. So they do load balancing hosting for enterprises. Okay. So this is similar to like what Pagely or WP Engine does. We don't offer load balance enterprise hosting at this time. Maybe in the future, but it looks like they do. Oh, you have to get more information. For enterprise hosting, you have to submit a form. Monthly budget starting at $2,000. Okay, so for those of you with really big sites that are watching this video, probably no one is, I'm just joking, they can do it for you. And we offer custom solutions to it, NameHero. I'm just being funny. But they that's their load balancing enterprise and dedicated servers. So just standard dedicateds here. We do offer dedicated cloud servers at NameHero, but again, it's you just have to inquire with sales. So, for example, these are all in the cloud. If you needed to move this Hero 8 to a dedicated, you can do that. You can re-image it as a dedicated in the cloud. Our sales team will let you know the price, and they've just looks like got their own dedicated servers here. Okay, so that I just want to make sure that we had covered all their shared hosting plans because that's what we were trying to do here. I didn't want to get off, don't want to get too far off topic there. But yeah, just want to make sure we covered all of their shared hosting. So I think now you should have a very fair comparison as to what we offer and what they offer. And now I'm going to walk you through a sign up of NameHero. And I'm going to go all the way through the NameHero sign up because I want to compare the cPanels. I'm going to walk you through the sign up process at SiteGround too, just so we can kind of compare. So just hang in with me and I'll start back from there. All right, now that we know the differences between the packages at NameHero and SiteGround, I'm going to walk you through a sign-up of NameHero, and then we'll also go through the sign-up process at SiteGround, and then we'll compare inside at the control panels and talk about all the different options. So at NameHero, I'm on the main page here, and if I click this and view the plans, you can see our featured hosting offerings. Today, we are talking about the web hosting packages, so we're going to go to compare plans. Okay, so now we're back at the screen that we've already went through pretty extensively, and I'm going to sign up for our most popular package. And so at NameHero, it's pretty much a toss-up between the Plus and the Turbo. The Plus allows you to host 6 websites, whereas the Turbo is unlimited. The Plus allows for up to 100 or 250,000 inodes, whereas the Turbo is 500,000 inodes. So again, that's the number of files that you can have, whereas we don't meter the number of gigabytes that's used. Okay, so with that said, you basically have to make a decision when you're looking to sign up. You know, how many visitors a month is your website getting? Now, if it's a newer website or if you're just kind of off the ground with it, I'd recommend just going with the Plus Cloud. If you're more of an established website and you have a considerable amount of usage, you probably want to go with the Turbo. So again, it's about double in price, not quite, but kind of close. And also if you're hosting more than 6 websites or think you might, you may want to go with the unlimited. And also this 3 CPU cores and 3 gigabytes of RAM. If you have a lot of plugins, if you're using WordPress and have a lot of plugins, then you definitely want to go with the more RAM. And then you can always upgrade to business later. So I'm just going to start off with the Plus, and as I said, we are on the cloud, so you can upgrade at any time. If you get the Plus and you run it for a day or two, and you're like, yeah, I'd like a little bit more RAM, a little more horsepower behind my package, then you can upgrade an interface, and it scales up automatically. So I'm just going to click this, and now you have 3 options. The first option is to register a new domain. This package comes with a complimentary domain registration for the first year or a domain transfer. So if you don't have your domain yet, maybe you're signing up for a hosting for a new website, maybe it's a new business that you've started, you would just enter that domain in here and search for it. The second option is to transfer from another registrar. So let's say you have your domain at GoDaddy, and maybe you registered this some time ago and you just secured it for later on. You could transfer it to us at NameHero. And again, this transfer fee is free for the first year, and then after that, you just have to pay the renewal fee. Now, if you've already paid for your domain at GoDaddy, you don't lose any time you've already paid. You'll just gain an additional year. So, and this is true for the .com, .net, .org, .mobi, .us, .biz, and .co.uk. If you have other TLDs, unfortunately, those cannot be transferred in for free. but these are the most popular. The third option states that you'll use your existing domain, meaning that you've already registered your domain, and then you're going to update your name servers. So this may apply to you if you have a domain registered with us already at NameHero, and now you want to buy hosting for it. Or maybe your domain's registered at GoDaddy or Namecheap, and you just don't want to move it. You want to keep that domain there, but you want the hosting at NameHero. So you have many different options. It's completely up to you. Me personally, what most of our customers do is they like to have their domain and their hosting in one spot. That way they have one place to pay. It's also easier for us to troubleshoot issues if your domain's with us. So me personally, I recommend registering it with us or transferring it over to us. But of course, if you don't want to do that, then you have the option not to. The domain I'm going to use today is already registered in my demo account here. So I'm just going to use option 3 and type it in. So I'm going to be using keydiets.com today. It's just a demo domain that we use for tutorials. Okay, so now I'm going to configure my options to check out. So we are going with the Plus Cloud. Once again, I can host 6 websites, unmetered storage, unmetered bandwidth, the 2 CPU cores, the 2 gigabytes of RAM. It comes with the Lightspeed web server with caching. It comes with Cloudflare and free SSL. Okay, so now we can look at our billing cycle. We are running our fall promotion, as I showed on the main page there. The discount for that's going to apply on the checkout. This is going to show you our real pricing or what it renews at. So after the promo is over, this is what the price will be at renewal. So the longer you sign up, the cheaper it's going to be, and the more of that promo you're going to take advantage of. So at NameHero, we reward customers the longer they sign up, because what we have seen with thousands of customers across the globe, when someone just signs up for month to month, a lot of times we see time and time again that their credit card will expire. Maybe they have an unexpected expense and they can't afford their hosting for that month. All kinds of things come up and their domain gets suspended. And we've actually seen some people, they'll get suspended and they'll forget about it. They'll be on vacation and they end up getting their account terminated. So that's why we recommend going with at least 12 months. And that's why we don't even offer a monthly option for the Plus Cloud. Because, with the price it's just simpler and easier to go with at least 1 year. So you can go 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Going with 3 years, you're going to definitely save the most and also save the most when it renews. So that's what I recommend going with. I know this is, more money up front, but in the long run, you're going to be saving. And so, if you think about a business on, a profit loss standpoint, you always want to go with, if you're going to get this high quality hosting, why not save the most? It's just my opinion. But, you can make your own decision based on, your business. This is the Drop My Site offsite backups. Now, as I said in the first hour of this tutorial, we do offer complimentary nightly backups, and you can back up your site at any time. You can restore your site at any time. But with our complimentary backups, we only offer 1 day's retention. So that means if today's Tuesday and you need to restore your backup, you can restore from Monday, but you couldn't go back to Sunday. And we do that so we can keep our pricing competitive. We can offer the free domain. But many of you probably want to have like 30 days of backups. So what we do is we offer this Drop My Site offsite backup option. So Drop My Site's a vendor that we work with directly at NameHero. And so if you sign up with them, they'll actually back up your data for 30 days offsite. So then you have these complimentary nightly backups at NameHero, and you also have these Drop My Site offsite backups as well. So it just gives you more redundancy. So, in the rare event that the NameHero data center would burn to the ground, which, we hope that never happens, and there's a lot of procedures in place that doesn't, but your data's offsite, completely offsite from our data centers. And so that's why we've formed this partnership, and it works out very well. Many of our customers absolutely love the Drop My Site backup suite. Once again, you can back up at any time. You can do restores at any time. You can restore a single file. You can restore just your emails. And there's many features from Drop My Site. So I recommend it. Basically, what you pay for here, this is a price per month, and it's priced based on the number of gigabytes you're going to be using. So what I recommend is just starting off with their 5 gigabyte plan. Most of you, this will be fine. But then if you reach it, you can always upgrade later on. So this is about $2 a month, and then for another $1 a month, you can double the space. So really the 5 or 10 gigabyte is a good starting point, and then you can always upgrade inside of our interface once you reach that. But again, this will give you those 30 days of backups plus the complimentary nightly backups at NameHero, and it's $2 a month, right? So if you divide that out by day, it's not very much. And we've considered adding this into the package price, but we want to offer competitive pricing, and some people, they don't care about having the extra backup. So why give it to them if they don't really want it? So it's up to you, and you might be using another backup service. Managed WP is a great one. So I recommend just at least use another backup service, because you can never have too many. This just automates it all for you and makes sure it's done. So it's just one of those things. It's super simple and easy. Available add-ons. This is a dedicated IP address, and if you're going to be using email with your hosting package, I recommend buying this. It's about $250 a month. It's pretty cheap, but this ensures the highest level of email delivery. So if you don't sign up with a dedicated IP, you're going to be using a shared IP address, and so that means there's many other sites using that IP to deliver email or to send email. So what happens is, if one site on the shared IP would say send out spam because their WordPress site was compromised for whatever reason, then every site on that IP actually gets penalized when it comes to email. So I typically ask customers, are you going to be using email on your account? Now, if you're going to be using Gmail, Zoho, or a third-party email provider, you don't need this. But if you are going to be using the email on the hosting package, I just recommend buying this because it gives the appearance to email providers that you're actually using like a dedicated server, and it just gives the highest level of email delivery. You can always go back and add this later, but if you do add it later, there's a period of DNS propagation. So it might look like your site's offline for maybe an hour or two when you add it later. So if you're going to be using email, I would just recommend going with it. But once again, this is completely up to you. You can add it later, but I just recommend adding it from the start. Okay, so now we've got our review and checkout. We've got the Plus Cloud package. Here's the price for 3 years, $431.28, and again, this is about $9.99 a month. We added those Drop My Site offsite backups, and so again, that was $2 a month. So that comes out to about $71.64. Not about, that does come out to $71.64 for the 3 years. So that's all put inside of this price. We did add the dedicated IP address, which is $29.95. So we have our subtotal, which is going to be $461.23, with our fall special. So this coupon's Fast Fall, and this is only valid, I'm doing this video right now in late November of 2018. So for about the next 30 days, we still are going to be running this. After this, we're going to be changing to our winter sale. And again, I'm not sure exactly what the discount's going to be, but right now you're saving $172.51. So you're saving, almost half of what you would be paying with this Fast Fall promotion. So it's definitely a really good promotion that we're running. Again, I can't guarantee when you watch this video. If you watch this 6 months from now, it's going to be a different promotion. So if you're watching this and it's on there now, great, go with it. If you're watching this and the discount's different, then sales change all the time. But then you can look at your totals, and you'll see that you're going to pay every year $29.95 for that dedicated IP because it's billed yearly. And then you're going to pay $431.28 every 3 years for your hosting. So you're going to save huge this first 3 years, and then after 3 years is up, it goes to our normal rate, which you're still saving considerably going with the 3-year rate, and then you have your dedicated IP address yearly. So we try to break down all of our pricing and costs so you know exactly what to pay. So now we can proceed to the checkout. So I've actually got my account registered. So I'll just talk about this page really quick. You're just going to fill out all your information here, first and last name, email address, phone number, your billing address, all the good stuff here. The only field that deserves mentioning specifically is a support pin. Some people, they don't understand what this means, so we've tried to identify it here. If you call in to our call center, or if you hit us up on live chat, we have to validate that you are who you say you are. You might be trying to call in for someone else's site, right? So this is the PIN code that the support tech will verify. So you just make this up. It's a 4-digit code. So example 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a unique 4-digit PIN that you're going to remember is what you enter in here. Then of course account security, you enter a password and you want to make sure it's strong, and then it's going to confirm the amount that's going to go on your card today. You can pay with credit card, PayPal, or even Coinbase. So cryptocurrency is a pretty big payment method now that's it's widely used. So you have 3 different options to pay. If you want to pay with card, just enter your card expiration and CVV, and it will check out. So that's the shopping cart here at NameHero. Let's now go through the shopping cart process at SiteGround so we can compare it. And then after that, we will complete this checkout, and then we'll take a look at the inside. Okay, so back here to SiteGround, we're on their main page here. Now remember, we already talked about that they highlight their main products here, and it looks like their web hosting, their WordPress hosting, and their WooCommerce. These are all really the same packages, but they're just branded differently. And I think the WooCommerce has this installed already. The Managed WP, the Managed WordPress hosting has their WordPress caching, but I think it's about the same as the Reliable. So we'll just get started here with the Reliable. Okay, so now we're back at their hosting comparison. Once again, they've got their startup, their Grow Big and Go Geek. You can see here they put best sellers, so they kind of recommend their Grow Big. You know, kind of like at NameHero, we recommended the Plus or the Turbo, so they're recommending the Grow Big. So that's the one we're going to go with here. And remember, we went through all these features already, so we're just going to go to get started. For them, it looks like kind of the same process that you can register a new domain. Now you can see here, they don't offer a free domain. So, you know, this is something to consider when you're, doing your pricing to your packages. This is $15.95 a year. So remember, this is built in at NameHero, not here. So this is an additional fee you're going to have to pay if you're going to register. If you already have a domain, let's see what it says here. It's probably going to give us the option to transfer it. So we're just going to do keydiets.com, if I can learn to type today, and proceed. Okay, so now we're at their review and checkout screen. Looks like they just want the email, password, all of our information, and then our payment. Their confirm is all down here, so a little different. Plans to grow big. Data center. So it looks like we can select our data center if you want to change it to Amsterdam, Singapore, or London. So we could just go with Chicago. Their billing period is 12 months, 24, 36, so same as NameHero. They do have a trial for 1 month. So it looks like the trial is $5.95 a month, and the regular is $19.95 a month. So it looks like if we go we can go month to month at this, but it's $19.95 a month. But there is a setup fee. So it's going to bill $30.95 at first and then $19.95. So again, at NameHero, we don't offer month-to-month billing, and it's kind of high for that price. If we go back to their main page here, they market this as not $5.95 a month, but if I'm paying monthly, I'm paying their full rate here. So that's it's something to keep in mind there too. All right, so they have the free transfer, so they market it as it is $30, but you can say free. You can add their site scanner. So SiteGround Site Scanner is a monitoring service that checks your website daily and immediately notifies you if your website has been hacked or injected. We actually do this complimentary at NameHero every night. So again, you can't add this. So it's just another added feature if you want to for $20 a year. So that's about $2 a month. And so now we have our total, and we would just confirm their terms and privacy, and if we wanted their newsletter, and then we could complete the checkout at SiteGround. So, kind of the same checkout process, pretty similar stuff. Once again, you save the most if you go with 36 months. If we do go with 36 months, let's just say it didn't give us the option to transfer the domain. So I guess that's going to assume that we're going to use the domain at our current registrar. If we were to add the scanner, we're at 234, whereas NameHero, we were at 288. And again, this was with the dedicated IP address, and this was with the site scanner here. So, it looks like as far as pricing is concerned, we're pretty close. This here does not have that free domain or free domain transfer. So if we added that in, we'd be looking at about $250. So you're kind of very similar with the price here with SiteGround. Okay, so let's go ahead and complete the payment here at NameHero. And then SiteGround actually has their control panel. You can access it without completing. So I'm going to access it without completing my sign up. So let me do that, and then we'll resume this video and we'll dive in the back end and take a look at that. Okay, so I've got my order completed here at NameHero, and we are obsessed with customer service and satisfaction here. So we have a survey. If this video helped you, or if you have some other tutorials on YouTube, we certainly do appreciate the 5 stars. Then you have the opportunity to kind of share your experience with other users. Reviews are kind of key nowadays. Me personally, I type in every restaurant I go to. If I'm going through the aisles at Target or Walmart, I'm Googling their reviews because I want to know what other people have to say. So we certainly appreciate that. Kind of pay it forward. We asked if you can enter your name and your email auto pops in. This is not to spam you or send you sales offers. This is only to send you your order confirmation follow-up. So it's just to follow up on your review there and your feedback. If you don't want to fill this out, don't worry. You don't have to. You can click the X here if you just say, I don't know yet. I'm skeptical. What have you. It's not required, but we just pop that up to ask if you would be so kind to do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue to the client area. I now want to navigate to my package because I've got to update my name servers. So this is our main client area at NameHero. And if you have tickets, if you need to submit a ticket, you would go to billing you'd go to support and tickets. But everything is inside of here to manage your account. So first thing is cloud web hosting, my services. This brings you to all your packages at NameHero. And you can see this is a demo account. So I've got a couple different ones. Today we're talking about the Plus Cloud that we just signed up. So I'll click that, and this is all the information about that hosting package. It shows what the package is, the domain. It shows our disk and bandwidth usage, which of course is nothing. This will update every 24 hours, so it'll show us the date here once it updates. It shows what server we're on, shows the name server. So in my example, I said I would update my own name servers. So I need to click Manage Domain, and this is where my name is kept here at NameHero. So if you registered or transferred your domain to us, you also have a panel here to where you can manage that domain. You can see here's the domain name. First payment, remember, was free. What it recurs at every 1 year is $15.96. The registration date, the next due date, we paid with PayPal, and it's active. So I need to change these name servers. Whoops. So I need to go back to here and just copy and paste these. So I'll go to my name and click on Name Servers under Manage. And you can see I've already got these updated actually. So I just want to make sure these match my hosting package. So if you keep your domain at GoDaddy or Namecheap, you want to make sure you update your name servers to match the ones of your hosting package. That's what connects everything. That connects your domain to your hosting package. So ours is good, and we'll click Change just to save it all. And now we're finished with that. Okay, so we have some quick shortcuts and stuff, set up email accounts and forward. So these link into cPanel, all of these, backup, subdomains, all that stuff, quick email account, shows our billing info and stuff. Here's our recurring amount. The billing cycle is every 3 years, the payment method, when it's next due, and all that stuff. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to show the difference of cPanels, because that's really where you're going to manage all of your domain. So under Actions here on the right, you can see Log into cPanel, and that's going to bring us into here. And so this is where we're going to do everything. If we want to install WordPress, if we want to delete WordPress, if we want to upload files, if we want to create email accounts, everything can be done right inside of here. So I want to compare this to SiteGround's. So SiteGround also uses cPanel, and this is what their backend will look like for your hosting package. Now you can see it looks a little bit different here, and I'm going to explain why. So SiteGround's using cPanel, but they've actually customized their theme here, to put their logo here. We've got our logo here, and they've got, it's just a little bit different of a format. It's the same control panel, just different format. So me personally, what I like about the theme we use here at NameHero, and again, I'm not trying to be completely biased, is this is mobile optimized. So if I'm on my tablet or if I'm on my smartphone, this template here is going to scale down for whatever device it is. So let's say I'm, on my phone at night and I need to set up an email account, or if I need to access cPanel, this will all fold down to look really nice on my iPhone. There's here, it's not mobile optimized, and they're just assuming you're going to use your computer. If you do get on your mobile, you can scroll around. It's just not responsive design. So that's just the main thing I see right off the top. All right, so let's do some comparisons. At NameHero, we have your general information, your username for the cPanel, the primary domain for the cPanel, the shared IP address. We did get a dedicated IP address, so this will automatically update here once the order goes through, once it's processed by our team. So if you're on a shared, it'll say this. If you're dedicated, it will change to dedicated. Our home directory, the last login IP, and the theme. So this is just the basic theme we use from cPanel. We don't have the option to change. If there's more than one theme, you could. And that's the same over here. You can't change their theme from their default. The general information for them is right under here. They have account information. So you can see we're at NameHero. We put this in the client area. Then went to cPanel. They just have it right in here. So your expiration dates would be here. The IP address that you last logged in, or the IP address of the site, so the shared IP. Your name servers. They just use NS1, NS2, and talks about how to manage your domain. How to update your name servers. The host name of the server. This one's SiteGround 190. Whereas the NameHero one was Node 201, so kind of same, similar format. This is a startup package. This is a demo of their startup package. Ours, the package shows inside of here, so we see our plus cloud. So again, just kind of different places, same stuff. This is a server time. You have the opportunity to upgrade here in the interface. If you want to upgrade to the next package at SiteGround, you could do it here. At NameHero, you would do it inside of here. You would click upgrade, downgrade inside of our client area, and this would allow you to proceed to do that. Again, just same thing, just different places. You can search cPanel. So if I want to search like PHP, you can see it just searches these icons right here. If we go over to NameHero, we do that right here. We just type in PHP. So we can, same functionality, just different places. Stats. So they've got, all the usage statistics and stuff in here. So again, the main domain for this is cPanel or CP demo. This shows your disk space usage. Excuse me. Now we have the inode usage. Now remember, this is the files, and this was something that wasn't on their sales page, but it was once we drilled down into their comparison tables, we saw these. This is the number of files that you're allowed to have. So they limit you, based on the amount of disk space you use. You're allowed to use 10 gigabytes or 10,000 megabytes, and you can have up to 150,000 files, and that's with their starter package here. So their starter package is 150,000 files. We have the plus package here, and that's 250,000 files. So here's the statistics for NameHero. 250,000 files, disk usage, we do not limit that. Bandwidth, we do not limit. Add-on domains, remember you can host 6 domains, subdomains unlimited, aliases unlimited, emails unlimited, forwards, email filters, FTP accounts, SQL databases unlimited. So, kind of the same here. All that stuff is unlimited there. Now, add-on domains, remember this is their beginner package. I know we demoed the GoGeek package inside of, or the Grow Big package, but this one only allows you to host 1 domain, whereas this one here was allowed you to have 6, so we're seeing 6 here, and of course none here. CPU usage and account executions. So these are their CPU limitations, which we talked about at NameHero. We display the cores and the RAM. We didn't see a lot of this on the sales page, but if we dove into their package offerings or their comparison tables, we saw this. So this is, if you start seeing warnings here, this means you're starting to reach your CPU limits. And they're also their account execution. So you can see if you hover over their info, it tells you, what that is. At NameHero, we do similar. CPU usage. Remember, we have access. This is a CPU cores. So again, if this reaches 100, that means you're kind of pushing the limit of the package. You might want to consider upgrading if you do it for too long. Now, at NameHero, we won't suspend you if you start reaching these limits. What happens is if you reach 100% CPU, your site would return a 503 error that says, it would say basically that the service is temporarily unavailable. So instead of suspending the account, we would just show this error until it reached back down. So that's something that is a little different than our competitors out there. I know, Bluehost, HostGator, they would just suspend your account and tell you you're over usage and you'd have to upgrade. At NameHero, we don't do that. We would just show in here and until the usage went down. You could and so if you hit it all the time, you'd want to upgrade. If you hit it every once in a while, then you don't have to worry about it. Our entry process limit, we talked about these in the beginning. Our virtual and physical memory usage, this is that RAM that we paid for, remember? So 2 gigabytes here in this package, and we could always upgrade to 3 gigabytes or to 4 gigabytes if needed, because remember, we are on the Plus package, which is right in here. So remember, this is these limits that we are seeing that are right inside of here, 2 CPU, 2 gigabytes of RAM. So those reflect inside of cPanel. Our IOPS, our I/O usage. So again, we covered all this earlier on in the video and a number of processes. So again, kind of the same type of deal we have here. You can actually see all your processes here. But yeah, so in detailed stats, CPU usage. Okay, so it's not going to show here yet. But yeah, and same here at NameHero. If you wanted to drill down, if you wanted more details, basically when you log in, every time you log in, you just make sure these aren't red. They might be yellow if it's a warning, or red means you're reaching these limits. So, if the site ever starts to kick an error, you can log in and check these. But you can also type in CPU and concurrent usage, and this will show you those details. You can see no activity because it's new, but this will show you all the graphs and stuff. If you've encroached any of those limits over the last 24 hours, last 10 minutes, all that stuff. So it will, allow you to drill down where those resources are being used, so you can see that. Okay, so with that said, now we can look at the kind of the bulk here. So they've got, let's see here how to do this. I think I'll do a section here and do a section in NameHero. So domains, this is where you'd set up your subdomains, your add-on domains, which again, this package doesn't allow for any, but if you wanted to add an additional site, remember the package at NameHero allows for 6, so that's where we'd set those up. Park domains, redirects. If you want to redirect a domain to your account, a domain transfer, or register a new domain, the ID protection for your domain manager, your DNS editor, or advanced DNS editor. So the only thing that you'd really need to worry about here, this looks like more like if you're wanting to transfer in a domain or register a new one or add the ID protect, more to manage domains as a whole. But the main thing you're going to want to use here is your DNS editor. If you're ever wanting to set up MX records, maybe you're going to use G Suite or something, you would set those up inside of here. Let's go back. Same with subdomains or add-ons, you'd set those up here. And we're at NameHero, our domains are down here. So same thing. We have our site publisher. And so this is like if you want a construction page on your site, or just like a one-page website. These are free templates that you can use and set up. So, if you're just starting your website, maybe you want this coming soon page. So that's what that is, but it's under domains. But same stuff. You can see manage all your domains. Again, we just have KeyDiet set up, which is our main domain. If we wanted to add another domain, we could click here to add on, because remember this package allows for us to host 6. So we just enter the new domain here. It creates a subdomain for it, and it creates a document root for it. So that's how we would add a domain to our package. So we've also got subdomains, aliases, which is basically an alias means that, let's say you had keydiets.net, but you wanted it to reflect all the pages on keydiets.com. So you could set up an alias, so keydiets.net would show the same site as keydiets.com, but it would remain at keydiets.net. So that might be useful. We also have the redirects and the zone editor, kind of the same thing that I showed you in there. It's probably the most thing to be used. Now, we have in the newer version of cPanel's interface here, so in my opinion, it makes this a lot easier. If you wanted to add an MX record, it's just right here, the priority and the destination. Theirs is a little bit different because it's a different version, or they've got their own interface here. So, just a different setup. Same features, just different setup inside of the zone editor. Okay, so next thing is their auto installers. So they've got Softaculous and Joomla, WordPress, Magento, PrestaShop, and PHP BB. So this is how you would install WordPress or Joomla. I'm going to highlight WordPress here because I feel like that, at NameHero, most everyone uses WordPress, and same here at SiteGround. They're known for WordPress. So if I click on WordPress, it takes me into Softaculous, and this is where I could install it. At NameHero, it's kind of the same type deal. Down here at the bottom, you can see under Softaculous Apps Installer, WordPress, and then you can see all the ones, some of the featured software, where you can sort by category. So again, WordPress is probably the most popular, so we just click WordPress, and same thing. It's just a different looking interface here to where you can install it. The version's 4.9.8 right now. This was released February, and the version here is 4.9.8, and it was released in February. So it's the same version of WordPress and everything like that. If you want to install WordPress, you just click install. We have the quick install option with limited options. If you just want to enter your domain, the folder of WordPress. If you wanted it in the root, you would delete that. Your username and password. You obviously do not use admin pass. Use something strong. And then you could install WordPress here. There's kind of the same thing. Install. They've got the quick install as well, the limited options, the custom install where you could go more. Same thing. They admin username, password, kind of same stuff here. So it's the same way to install WordPress with one click as it is at NameHero. Let's go back to the main page. Let's go back in here to their main page. Okay, so that's their app installers. And again, same here at NameHero, different format, same type features. Next, and this is again the same for Joomla and the other piece of software here. They have their site improvement tools. So they've got Cloudflare, Supercacher, and SiteGround Git. So their Git repository. So at NameHero, go down here to software, and you can see we've got Cloudflare here. So same thing here at SiteGround. If you want to use Cloudflare, you could set it up here. Set it up here at NameHero, and for here you can log in or create your Cloudflare account. If you already have an account, you can log in, or if you need to create one, it's free. Going back here, they have their Supercacher. So this is where you can manage that. It's got the level 1s and 2 and 3. NameHero, we use Lightspeed Cache, so it actually has to be installed inside of WordPress. So you would actually install that. And again, we've got plenty of YouTube videos on our YouTube channel and on our blog on how to do that. But our caching is actually installed right inside of WordPress, whereas theirs is managed right here in cPanel. So again, kind of same functionality, just different locations. They have their SiteGround Git repository. Well, okay, what did it say here? I exited out. Currently features disabled. Okay, so this is not available on the package, on this startup package. We had to have like I think the Go Geek. Yeah, you have to upgrade to the Go Geek to have it. And so this allows you to create a repository. We do have this as well, or something similar at NameHero. Where did it go? Where did it go? Let me just type in Git. Oh, there it is, Git version control. So if we wanted to create a Git repository, we could. And so this basically will clone, you could clone your URLs, clone that file structure into a Git repository. There's tons of documentation here from cPanel. If you don't know what you're doing, I really wouldn't worry about using it, or you can read up about it, about how it works. But this is a newer feature added to cPanel, but you can do it all inside of here. And so you can track changes to files and all that good stuff, push out changes and have other devs work on it, all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, so that's their site improvement, our site improvement. WordPress tools. So they've got, again, the WordPress installer. This will take us to Softaculous. So again, it's just the same thing, kind of a redundant placement there. They have their auto update, their toolkit, their Supercacher staging, their Git, and their WordPress migrator. So these are kind of like some custom tools. The auto update brings us up here, so it will detect the version and auto update it. At NameHero, whoops, I'm going crazy here. At NameHero, this is available once you install WordPress. So again, kind of like the caching, you actually have to have an install. So I'm just going to install a demo here, so I can show you this. Install. So at NameHero, rather than detecting, it shows you here. So if we go to Overview, let me go back into cPanel. Whoops, cPanel, and click on WordPress. So after it's installed, you can see it, WordPress, and right here. So we can see our additional features are shown here. So if you wanted to auto update, you click the pencil, and right here, auto update. Do not auto upgrade, upgrade to minor versions only, upgrade to any latest version available, major as well as minor. So that's your options there. To auto upgrade the plugins, you can click here. To auto upgrade the themes, here. You can also force the upgrades now. So again, same features, just different place for the auto update. They have their WordPress toolkit. This allows you to reset your admin password, change your domain, move or delete the installation, or secure the admin page. So this is just kind of some custom features that they have. We don't have a section to reset your admin password or to change your WordPress domain. So that's not, you would want to change that inside of here. So if you want to change that, again, we would click the pencil, and we could change the URL inside of here. But we'd actually have to change it on the add-on domain as well if we wanted to change the actual URL. Move or delete installation. This is in here at NameHero. So if you wanted to, change it or delete it, this would obviously remove it. If you wanted to move the installation, you would do that as well in here. Secure admin page, and unfortunately we don't have that functionality. It looks like a custom thing at SiteGround. So there's a couple extra tools they've thrown in there. Kind of the same stuff though. They've got Joomla tools, so kind of the same, same thing as WordPress. They've got their installer, which goes to Softaculous. At NameHero, if we want to install Joomla, we could go back to cPanel, and we could click on Joomla. Same page here. install now, install now. So again, same functionality, different places. Same thing with the auto update. They've got their toolkit and their super cacher staging and their Git repository. Same thing with the cacher. It's our Lightspeed cache would work for Joomla, but you have to install that and set that up separately. Into mail. So same things here, email accounts, webmail, spam assassin, forwards, autoresponders, default addresses. So all the mail features, again, these are the exact same at NameHero. So let's go back to cpanel and I'll show you. Email accounts, forwards, email routing, autoresponders, default address, track delivery, authentication, filters, address formatter, spam filters, encryption. So again, same type stuff, default cpanel stuff. You just click to go with it, just different looking interface, same type stuff. 1H software. So this is their this is kind of their custom software stuff. Remember we talked about these limits here. So if you wanted to kind of a detailed look at your limits at SiteGround, this is where you do it. At NameHero, we have the same functionality, but just a different place. This is in that section I showed you. Type in CPU. So it's under metrics. So we can see it in our metrics tab here, metrics right here. So CPU and concurrent usage here, metrics editor. So we have all this stuff here, and theirs is just here. Now this is interesting to note here. They have multi-PHP, which we do at NameHero as well, but it's a little different. So if I want to change the PHP version here, they allow you to actually change it per folder. So if you wanted to change PHP for your site, you would click the public HTML, and then you would select the version here. At NameHero, again, same functionality, it's a different place. This is under PHP. Where'd it go? Right here. So we do this with select PHP version under software. Click it here. And you can see at NameHero, we default on 7.2. SiteGround is defaulting at 5.6. I'm assuming they're going to change this soon because 5.6 is about to be depreciated or reach end of life. Now at NameHero, you can switch to 5.6. You can go all the way back to 5.4. So we allow multiple versions of PHP. Now, these are some old versions of PHP, but these are actually using what's called alt PHP, which means we actually secure and harden and update these. So even though they're no longer supported by the PHP community, we actually have them supported and secured. So, if you have to run 5.6 and 5.6 into life, I think it's December 10th, 2018. So if you still have to run it, it's still updated and it's still secure. Same with these other ones. We wouldn't have them in there if they were not secure. SiteGround looks like we can go back to 5.5. That's as far back as we can go. NameHero, we can go back to 4.4. We can go all the way up to 7.2. SiteGround here, we can go up to 7.3. We are adding 7.3 to some of the newer servers at NameHero. So this one should be added very soon as well. PHP 7.3 should be in there very shortly. So, but 7.2, 7.3, very similar. Now, if I do, you can see this is what the default is. You'll see these options as well. These are PHP extensions. If you ever had hosting maybe 10 years ago, you maybe remember you used to have to contact your host if you need an extension installed. No more. It doesn't work like that anymore. If you're using a script or a WordPress plugin that needs an extension, you can install it here. You just click on it and click Save. I notice SiteGround has the same thing. If you want to install a PHP extension, we go to PHP Variables Manager. Once again, we choose our folder. So I guess we click our public HTML. Oh, and we can add, so we add the variables inside of this PHP ini. Ooh. Okay, so a little different here. This is not extensions. My apologies. I thought this was to add extensions. Version Manager. If I want to add extensions, I'm not sure how to do that here. So we might have to ask them. If you want to install extension, you might have to ask them. They do have their PHP ini editor. So if you want to add stuff to your PHP ini. So at NameHero, instead of using PHP ini files, we switch to PHP options. And you can do it all here. So this is your custom ini file. So instead of having, it looks like here, they put you a PHP ini file here. And if you want to add to it, you can add the variable here. You can allow URL if open, enable or disable. And here, it would be here, on or off. So, and this is another thing. Me personally, the PHP inis have always been, they can get confusing for newer users of WordPress. So we like to use everything inside of here. So it's just a different preference. Again, same functionality, they just have it in a different spot. If you want to add it, you actually have to add the value here. Whereas NameHero, you can just use the drop downs here. So if we want to change our memory or upload limit, say 64 megabytes, say our post max size 64 megabytes. If we want to change our memory limit to say 256, Those are, some common things you want to do for WordPress. You do it here, whereas with them, we would add the variables inside of the any file. All right, so let's go back and take a look here. What else do we have to cover? Hey, files. So this is our file manager, legacy file manager, disk space usage, FTP accounts. So kind of standard cPanel stuff here. This is where we go to upload files. So if we want to go to the file manager, click go, you get it here. NameHero, file manager here. Same stuff, just a little bit different template. But, same stuff. You can add, edit, delete, FTP all your stuff, edit your files inside of File Manager. They have the legacy one. I don't know. Do we still have legacy? We do not. We've removed the legacy File Manager out of there because it's old. This shows your disk usage and same stuff here, disk usage. So, again, this is all standard cPanel stuff under here. Again, different look, same functionality. Let's look. So that covers our files. Again, same type stuff here. Databases. Say I've got MySQL, the MySQL database wizard, phpMyAdmin for MySQL, remote MySQL, and they have the Postgres. We do not support Postgres at this time, so that was a difference that SiteGround has other than NameHero. But you can see here as far as databases, we have phpMyAdmin, MySQL, which remember we use Maria database, but it is the same as MySQL. It just drops in and replaces it, so it's still labeled here as MySQL. Same thing, manage your databases, the wizard, the remote SQL. You can always go to server information and get the latest version of what we're using. So see MySQL version, we're using the Maria database, 10.2 is what we're using currently. You can also see kind of the standard PHP. We are using Lightspeed, not Apache, but it still shows under cPanel as Apache for whatever reason. Let's go down here. So databases, again, same stuff. We don't have the Postgres, they do. The backups manager, so they've got their backup tool. Now remember, SiteGround allows you to have this 30 days backup manager, but if you want to restore, you have to actually pay to restore. See here, you have 6 hour, you have to order this. So unless you have the grow big. So you have to go to your control panel to order this to restore. Whereas NameHero, with our complimentary nightly backups, are down here. So we have the CP remote dashboard. And there's obviously no backups in here because it's a new account. But if you want to restore, you can restore right inside of here. And you can restore anytime. So if you want to restore the whole domain, you would go there. If you want to restore a database, you go here. If you want to restore an email account, you go here. And again, these aren't populated yet. If you want to restore just a file or folder, you would do that here. So that's where we do it. And these are the nightly backups. If you wanted the 30 days backup, they would be in here. And website, and there's software right here. But there's probably not going to be in here either. See, these aren't loading right now because we don't have one yet because we just started it. So that's where our 30 days would be. And you can restore those at any time as well. So again, with SiteGround, with their starter package at least, you can't restore at any time. You would have to restore. I think you have to have the Go Geek package. So restore, you can see here. Yeah, you have to have the grow big. You have to have that to restore access. If not, you have to buy it to restore. So again, they do allow you to restore, but you have to pay extra. Whoops, I just logged myself out. Okay, so that covers backups, visitors, stats. So again, we got this same stuff here at NameHero. So we'll go over into here and backup administration. Where's our metrics? Okay, so again, same stuff here. Visitors, your raw access logs. We do have the stats as well. Yeah, so it's all right in here in these metrics. So again, just your standard cPanel visitor stats stuff, your bandwidth limit, your error logs, AW stats, all that stuff. Security, once again, standard cPanel stuff. Now they do, password, let's talk about this first. So this is your standard password protect, IP deny, SSL or TSL manager. I want to talk about this because ours is a little different. At NameHero, if you go to SSL, TSL manager, let me just type it in here so we can get to it quickly. So this is where you install your SSL certificates. See, we are incorporated with Let's Encrypt. So you can see we're seeing a green. This means we have an SSL certificate on the domain right now. Auto SSL is validated. If it hasn't generated yet, you could highlight this and click Run It. Whereas in SiteGround, they don't give you that option here. They actually have the Let's Encrypt option. So it actually says Let's Encrypt, and you click it, and you could do it here. And it looks like they're working with the wildcard and the basic. So you could do it here. You could install an SSL on your domain here. Whereas at NameHero, it's done right here. So, again, same functionality, just different place. Different place for Let's Encrypt. Okay, so what else we got here? Site security check. So that says no longer available. That might not be available since we don't have that option on our package here. I do want to show an option here at NameHero that's similar. We use a piece of software called Immunify. Where'd it go? Right here. So this is one of our security checks, and this is the malware scanner. If it detects any malware, it's going to show you in here. It'll show you how many malicious, how many files are quarantined, and it'll also give you the option to restore from quarantine. You can see, of course, nothing's in here because there's no files on the account yet. You can also do ignore list. If you have a file that maybe it picks up as malicious, but it's not, you could set up a ignore. This will show you the history, malware history, and any cleanup request. This is not in the interface yet, but it's coming. So basically, this new feature that will be in NameHero coming in the next month or two, if it detects malware on your site, you can clean it up. You can remove the malware from the file, and it'll clean it up for you. Excuse me. We also have our proactive defense. This will prevent PHP attacks or attacks through PHP scripts. It's currently set to kill mode. So if any script looks to be malicious, it will automatically kill the script. If you're finding false positives, if you're finding this is killing your legit processes, you can go to log only, or you could even disable it. But again, this is just a piece of security that we have at NameHero to help prevent malware and malicious stuff in WordPress. And it looks like for theirs, we have to upgrade our package. I think we compared that in the beginning for the security check. Finally, we have our advanced Apache handlers, CGI Center, Image Manager, Index Manager, Shell Access. Again, this is just some more standard cPanel stuff. So we go back to NameHero, back to cPanel, and under advanced, we have this cron jobs, track DNS, indexes, Apache handlers, mimi types. SSH is in a different spot though. So SSH access would be here. You'd have to set up your key and all that. With them, same thing here. You have to set up your key inside of here. So you have to create a new key. You can create your new key pair there, or you can follow it NameHero. So again, same type stuff. And this is standard cPanel stuff. Again, the Apache handlers, that one's not available in here. And we can type in here too, Apache handlers. So again, same stuff, just different locations in here. I'm not sure why it's not available. Maybe it's because this is a demo. But yeah, so just kind of the same stuff here as well. So that gives us a brief tutorial. I didn't want to dig through every single functionality of every single cPanel feature here, but I think that I've shown enough to let you know that the features are on the back end are pretty much the same, just different spots. There's a couple things that are different. We don't have the Postgres databases. They do. They don't have the security suites for certain accounts. We do. They've got, as far as like site staging, this is not available on this package. You have to upgrade. We do have staging for all accounts. And let me show you where that is, just so you know. If you go back to WordPress where we installed it, you can go here and you can stage it right here. So you can create a staging environment. And I've got tutorials on this. I won't go through a lot of detail on this, but if you want to stage WordPress, you can. If you want to copy your installation, you can. If you want to clone your WordPress install. So that's on every single account here at NameHero. And I think this is the backup. If you want to back up, stage, backup, copy, you can do all that stuff in here. Here we had to have the other package. So again, just same type features. It's just really different packaging, stuff like that between SiteGround and NameHero. So again, it's pretty much pretty similar, just a couple of different things, and the difference in the limitations of the actual accounts are similar, but again a little different, which we highlighted earlier on. Okay, so that again we've now compared the packages. on each side. We've compared the cPanels of each side. The last part is I want to talk about performance. So stay tuned to our video and we'll talk about that. All right, now to finish this video up, I want to talk about performance because, of course, we can offer whatever hosting package and SiteGround can offer whatever hosting package. But when the rubber meets the road, if we're not performing or they're not performing, then it's kind of useless. And we've seen this throughout the web hosting industry. You can have the feature-loaded web hosting package, but then if you don't have the support behind it or the uptime and the speed, then of course, what do you really have? So within our industry here in the web hosting industry, support, performance are extremely important. And these are something that are extremely important to us here at NameHero. Personally, this is why we started NameHero, is we couldn't find a web host that was reliable and that was fast and stayed online and secure. And we couldn't also find one that was backed by 24/7 support. Now, I personally, before starting NameHero, I had registered for an account at SiteGround, but I never got around to using them. So I had used HostGator, I had used Bluehost, I had used a couple other hosts, but I had not used SiteGround. So for my own personal experience, I can't really speak, and I feel like doing this video and testing them. I want to do it non-objectively. So recently, a YouTuber, Daryl Wilson here, and we posted a blog about it. He tested a lot of top WordPress web hosts within the industry, and he was kind enough to include NameHero. And that way, I like featuring his review because it's a non-biased review. And we didn't ask Daryl to do it. He just did it, and he published his findings. And so this way, it gives you a third-party, non-objective viewpoint from how NameHero does perform against other web hosts within the industry. So if you want to, you can search this on our blog. Just type in popular YouTuber into the search box and this will come up, or you can type in a little bit more than this and type it into Google and it'll come up as well. But it talks about his competition, and we also talk about why we started NameHero and how important performance is to us here, and as well as customer service and satisfaction. And this why we had the hero name in our name is because it's very frustrating when you need support and you need it now and you can't get it, and you want to have professional and courteous support. And so that's just some core values that we have here at NameHero. Put the customer first, have fantastic customer service and support, and then also provide a high-speed, reliable, and scalable cloud web hosting solution. We want to have the latest and greatest technology, and also we want to make it affordable. NameHero is not a discount web host. We don't consider ourselves a discount web host. There's always going to be web hosts out there that offer cheaper prices than NameHero. But we do feel like our pricing is very fair, and we feel like our pricing is very competitive within the industry, but also for what you're getting. True cloud hosting, solid state drives, Lightspeed web server, the Cloudflare CDN, free SSL, all that stuff that's included, the free domain. And so it's kind of the three things that we've put together here with NameHero. So again, you can read through this post here and where I talk about Daryl's results. And you can see I'm featuring this, and NameHero is not #1 in his review, SiteGround was. And so that's another reason why I want to show this is, I want to provide a non-objective viewpoint of NameHero versus SiteGround. So as if you're considering the two, which one works best for your business, and ultimately you, the customer, you determine that. And so, so far in this video, we've compared the packages between NameHero and SiteGround. We've compared the control panels. We've compared the features. We've compared the technologies and the limits. But now we do want to talk about the performance. So, getting down to it here, what Daryl tested here in his results were uptime and server performance. Both NameHero and SiteGround achieved 100% uptime. So, this goes back to what SiteGround claims on their marketing here. If you go to get started, they've got it down here. Their server uptime right here, 99.9. And same here at NameHero. We actually published this on our review page. So we publish these reports. If you scroll down to the bottom, we take some nodes of ours and publish real-time pingdom reports for the year. And we're about to add 2018 here soon. And, this is something we're going to keep updated. And also we are awarded 99.9% uptime from Host Advice because, a lot of providers, they can say they're 99.9%. I think I read that on almost every web host I check out, but a lot of web hosts, they call this network uptime, meaning the network never goes down. They don't actually mean server uptime because a network means that the server is always connected to the internet, but what if the server is actually down? So you have to be careful when you're looking at uptime reports and, what exactly you're looking at. So that's why we publish these reports, because these are actually reports of the servers themselves, not just the network. So, we try to put our stuff out there. We don't try to BS, we try to back all this up. So, just a reminder, and SiteGround, they put this out on their site, and if you search around, you can find some similar results. And so Daryl did confirm that. Daryl's test went over 30 days, I believe, maybe a little bit more, but he did have 100% uptime at both NameHero and on SiteGround. So now let's talk about the performance numbers. What I did is, if you can go back through and watch this video of his, if you if you search this post here, you can see not only against SiteGround, but several other hosts within the industry. But you can watch his full tutorial. I think it's about 2 hours long, maybe shorter. No, it's 27 minutes. Okay, so it's not that long. Used to Daryl putting out some really good content that's long, but 27 minutes. So you can review all these companies and compare NameHero to them as well by watching his video, because he actually signed up at every web host and did the same test. So check that out if you want a lot more. But here's one of the metrics that he measured, and this is from NameHero. And this is a plugin that he installed to WordPress that tests the web browser load speed. So this is the actual on-page performance. And then he tested the hosting/PHP server response. So actually the response to the server. So the page response and the server response. So our web browser load speed. So this is how fast the page loads in the web browser. For Daryl, here's what the average was, an average of 2.9 seconds. That's with 41 hits and excludes bots. And you can see on this graph here. So obviously the more in the green, the better. The more in the orange, not as best, and the red, slow. So you can see this is where we fit in with Daryl's site that he set up. Now, looking at Daryl's tutorial, I don't believe he set up any caching or Cloudflare or Lightspeed cache and stuff like that. So he probably could have gotten a faster load speed, but I think his purpose of the hosting competition was just the default Divi theme. He took WordPress, installed a basic WordPress copy, and then installed the Divi theme. So it actually had some type of site behind it. Not a lot of pages, but I don't think Daryl did the enabled caching and all that stuff. So, if it's my site and I'm working on it, I would add some caching. I would also add the Cloudflare CDN, because both of those are free with your hosting package, and also may help you achieve even better web browser load speed. So if we compare that over here is SiteGround's. And what I did is I took this screenshot from his video. And so if you don't want to take my word for it, you can watch this video and see it. But I took a screenshot of it. It's kind of blurry, but we'll just zoom in here and see. So this is the web browser's load speed. And so again, he took the same WordPress install, the same theme, same page, and uploaded it to every host. So this was the same site. And you can see they were at 3.5 seconds, an average load speed. So that's still very, very fast. You can see it's over here in the green in comparison to the 2.9 of NameHero's. So again, both companies 100% uptime, and also both companies very fast. Now we were about a second, about a half a second really faster on the web browser load speed. So you can see 84 hits excludes bots, and you can see the chart and graph here. Now, if we go over here and we can look at the hosting/PHP server response, the actual response of the server was an average of 0.377 seconds, so 377 milliseconds. It's extremely fast. I mean, you can't blink that fast. Maybe you can. I don't know, but it's still very fast, and you can see in here. SiteGround, you can see down here, they actually had a 231 milliseconds. So we're talking, as far as the server response, we're talking about 133 or 231 versus 377, so about 100 milliseconds difference there. So it's kind of, it looks like a trade-off here, page load versus the actual server response. But nonetheless, these results on both companies are very good. This is extremely fast page loads, server response for both companies. And again, I do encourage you to go back and watch Daryl's video, because you can see other companies and how they perform. Some really popular ones too, such as HostGator, iPage, Liquid Web. There's several on here that you may be familiar with. So I definitely recommend checking that video out. And I wanted to highlight this again because I wanted to show from someone else, because obviously if I'm, the owner and CEO of NameHero and I'm doing a comparison, I want it to come off as non-biased as possible. So that was Daryl's results, and now you, the customer, you have the decision. You've heard from me, the CEO of NameHero. You've seen the packages, you've seen the back end. Which one fits best for your business. That's your decision. Now you've seen something from Daryl. The uptime on both is 100%. Neither hosting company went down, and you've got some load times right here in front of you. Some page loads, server loads, page loads, server loads. And again, this is the average over a month. So of course, an average means some days faster, some days a little slower, and this is what it averages out to. So now you as the customer can make the decision, is it NameHero? Is it SiteGround? Which one do you want to use? Now, I think SiteGround does, and we do it NameHero, we offer 30 days money back. So, try us both out. Try us for a month. If you don't like it, get your money back, go to SiteGround. Try SiteGround out for 30 days. You don't like it, come back. So that's why web hosting companies do that. And, we want you to feel completely comfortable bringing your website over to us. Another thing that I always recommend, and I misspelled it, type the reviews into Google. Look through. Don't just take my words here on YouTube or even Daryl's tutorial. Go through and look. So you can type in SiteGround reviews. Now, when you're looking at review sites, you want to be careful with some stuff. First off, you can see a lot of times you're going to find results like this on when you type in whatever hosting company review. And most of the time, these are advertisements. Most of the time, and if you go down here to the bottom, well, they don't have it really listed big. But if you read through the terms, most of these websites are just affiliate marketers, meaning that they're putting these sites online, they're bidding on Google, and they're getting a commission whenever someone clicks through to buy these. So you can see this is very boilerplate, very just standard. Here's Bluehost, best overall. Recommended by WordPress for 10 years. He's, no real data to it. So be careful when you're looking at review sites like this, because there's a ton of them out there, and they just don't offer anything. There's no substance to them, just very boilerplate stuff. So that's what I recommend is when looking, look for some in-depth reviews. So we can see SiteGround's main site, HostGator's bidding on their term. We've got another ad here. Again, same thing. Bluehost, HostGator, JustHost. And they compare against some companies, but it doesn't tell you much. It's just the boilerplate, And again, if we go down here, our comparisons are our own opinions. So yeah, again, it's very stockish to me, not very much in detail. So when I'm looking for reviews, I'm looking for stuff like what Daryl put out. I'm looking for stuff like hosting facts. Let's see what this one looks like. Okay, yeah, this one looks good. Hosting facts. Okay, this author here, Brad Smith, 16 months. I've been one of SiteGround's 800,000 customers. Okay, so you're looking for stuff like this. And again, he's agreeing with Daryl, high uptime. Load time, 714 milliseconds. What was Daryl's again? Well, his server was 231, and the page was 3 seconds. So which was this? SiteGround solid average. I'm going to assume, I guess this is page load, maybe. Yeah, I think this is page load. But anyways, that's what we're looking for here. And if we go down here, we can see a lot of people that review, they are getting some type of compensation. I mean, it makes sense that they're getting compensated for the reviews. But you just want reviews with substance. You want to see actual reviews and not just the standard boilerplate stuff. So you can see host advice is a good one because you can't change anything. So you can see here's from actual customers that use it. So they're reviewing that. If we go over here with NameHero, it's kind of look for the same stuff. Just don't take my word for it. You can go who's hosting this. There's 22 on here. And, this is where customers share their experience with us at NameHero. And we can go through. You can see there's host advice as well. We don't have as many. We are not as old of a company as SiteGround. But you can see what real customers are saying. And again, once the reviews are posted on sites like this, they can't be removed, moderated. You can't pay to get them off, nothing like that. So, that's what you're looking for when you're looking for a review. Shopper approved. Oh, this is a good one. Shopper approved is someone we're integrated with in our system. So we actually work with them to verify all of these reviews. So you can see that these are actual customers because we've verified these along with Shopper Approved. So Shopper Approved collects the review. We just verify they're a true customer. It's not just one of those sites that someone's put up about NameHero. So you can see those type of reviews. So just do your homework. Do your homework and look through. You can go through here and there's tons of reviews out there. Trustpilot, Web Hosting Talk. We don't really try to hide that. We let you know. Go check it out and see. You can see NameHero versus. I did see NameHero versus SiteGround. There it is. So this video hopefully will rank for that too. So just do that for NameHero, SiteGround. Anyone you're wanting to consider, go through and look at the reviews and go through them. And remember what I said about the kind of stockish review sites. You look for reviews that are really in detail, where people have really put it to the test and that offer proof. Some companies or some people might just blog about it and not really have done it. So, that's how I wanted to feature Daryl's, because I liked how he did it for 30 days. And then he showed all of his data from all the web hosts that he did for 30 days. So that's, that's kind of the performance part of this. It's better to have someone else that has tested it to show you that. And again, ultimately now the decision is yours as the customer. Which company is better with you or for you. Look at our packages, look at their packages. Look at the interfaces, which interface works best for you, and then ultimately what features do you need for your site. And then you make that decision. I will say too, and I mentioned this earlier, we publish our support reviews. I don't know if SiteGround publishes reviews on their site, actually. Let's see, they have a couple. Oh, okay, they do. I didn't see them right off the bat. So they do publish reviews as well. I'm not sure where these are feeding in from, but they've got reviews on their site. So, every web host has reviews on their site. So check those out too. I like to Google it so I can see multiple places. So we have a review page. SiteGround has a review page. We have reviews on Google. SiteGround has reviews on Google. So, just do your homework with it. And, that way that you can see the comparison I've done. You can see the comparison and speeds that Daryl's done. You can read the reviews and check it out and then ultimately make the decision for yourself. So that's going to conclude our review of NameHero versus SiteGround. Me personally, I think SiteGround is a great company. I have a lot of respect for their team and their management. They've obviously done a great job, staying true to their word. A lot of hosting companies in this industry, they don't do that. They start off good and they end up selling out, and they kind of go down the tubes. But it looks like to me that SiteGround they're a solid choice. They're a good company. They seem to have their act together. They've got lots of great features. Their speed and uptime looks good. So, I am glad to, in the web hosting industry, we always say that, I don't really look at it as competition. And I've said this with many other CEOs in the industry. We look at it as the entire industry, as long as the industry as a whole was there, having some competitors, having some other companies is a good thing, right? Because if NameHero is the only web host out there, that means there's not a lot of people looking for web hosting. If SiteGround's the only web host out there, that means there's not a lot of people looking for web hosting. There's tons of web hosting companies out there. So you have many choices when you're looking for your web host. And so that was the purpose of doing this video, is to let you know, here's what we offer, here's what they offer, and here's how you can compare them. As we head into 2019, I'm going to try to do more of these videos. I've got one on our blog against HostGator and also InMotion hosting. So I try to get other comparisons so you can see from my viewpoint. I think it's about 2 hours long, really going into detail behind us and SiteGround. So I want to thank you for watching. I do hope you choose to sign up with us at NameHero. We'd love to have your business. But again, if not, the decision is ultimately up to you. We, continue growing every single day here at NameHero. And along with our growth, we always believe we can continue improving. So if you sign up with us, we love feedback. Let us know. And that's why we had that survey at the beginning of, or at the completion of your order, at the beginning of the control panel. Me personally, I'm very involved inside the company. I'm always checking out feedback, support. You can check us out too on our blog. If you click on support at NameHero, you can see our blog is syndicated right here, or you can just go to namehero.com/startup. You'll find all kinds of helpful WordPress tips and tricks, as well as web hosting. We've got some guides on how to set up a VPS and reseller hosting guides. So we try to blog a lot about, our business and ways that we can help your business, with WordPress, our sales and all that stuff. The right way to load jQuery from a CDN into WordPress. So we try to be very active within the WordPress community. Says we believe that a more educated customer is a better customer, because we can have all these features and technology, but if you don't know the right way to use it, then it's kind of useless, right? I also recommend subscribing to our YouTube channel. If I load it up here, you can see that we have a pretty active YouTube channel. We're uploading videos quite frequently, at least a couple a week. We try to do one every day. Or I try to do one every day, but it's been pretty busy right now with the Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But we do have some playlists you can check out, and there's hundreds of videos on here that talk about almost anything to do with web hosting, WordPress, speed, comparisons. So, check us out. Give us a subscribe if we help you out. We would, just love that. So check out YouTube, check out the blog, and we hope to see you inside the customer interface. So thanks for watching and considering NameHero.com.